Hello everybody, welcome back to our latest live stream. I hope everybody's doing well right now out there. It has been a while, obviously. It's been about 5 days since we've done our last live stream, but I hope everybody's doing well. As I mentioned before, I'm a little bit sick and kind of hear my voice a little bit. I am congested, but I'm going to try to give you the latest breakdown, everything that we have ongoing as of right now. We actually have some severe thunderstorms out there now. We will see more throughout the evening. More coverage is expected to fill in over the next several hours, but we do have some notable warnings to get to. There will be another area in the Central Plains seeing severe weather a little bit later this evening. There's obviously 2 severe thunderstorm watches ongoing as of right now, so we're going to get to the latest on everything that's ongoing as of right now. Again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, hit the like button down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's hop right into it though. So as of right now, we are currently over in southern Illinois. This is an ongoing severe thunderstorm that has actually been ongoing for the last couple of hours now. This has had a history of producing some hail between quarter to $half size. It also has a flash flooding component now with it. It actually does have an ongoing flash flood warning for those from Wheeler down to Newton, as well as Albany and as well as Calhoun. Those areas all included in that ongoing flash flood warning, which literally just got issued not too long ago. So there's obviously a flash flooding component ongoing with the storm as of right now. Again, this is currently moving down to the southeast very slowly. It's not a quick moving storm, so flash flooding definitely not out of the question with this over the next few hours. Again, this flash flooding warning only got issued about 6 minutes ago, so it's very recent. We will probably see more rain from where it already came from. I think we've already seen 2 to 3 inches of rain. We'll get to the latest on the rainfall totals actually right now. Let's take a look at how much rain has actually fallen with this cell so far. But the overall threats as of right now in terms of severe weather is currently damaging winds around 60, and as well as the potential for some $half sized hail, which has been confirmed already that we've had some $half sized hail with this cell. So here's a look at the rainfall. This is from an hour ago, so this is not updated. It should be updating in about 5 minutes or so, but we've at least had 2 inches of rain back northwest of Newton, so I can almost assume that we've probably seen about 3 inches near Wheeler so far. That's the area again which is under a flash flood warning as of right now. So unfortunately, that's what we're looking at as of right now out of this cell, and obviously that potential for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds and hail does exist. The main hail core as of right now is currently near 50, Highway 50, as well as 250 near Albany. So just keep that in mind. Again, this will be tracking down to the southeast fairly slowly. Let's go over to the velocities and let's take a look and see if we have any crazy damaging winds out of this. There's a little bit of higher winds, it looks like, back up east of 130. So we are seeing 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds within this cell, which is, again, severe thunderstorm based. And let's go over to the hail as well. We'll take a look at that. I'm assuming at this given time, it's probably right around quarter to $half size. We do have a recent report of at least some $half sized hail. We'll go over to that here in just a second. The computer models, right, or at least the estimated computer is not, it's overestimating hail by a long shot. I don't think it's anywhere close to baseball size, but we are definitely looking at some large hail on this. We will not probably pay attention too much to that radar today because that's actually way overestimated. But our most recent reports at this given time are quarter-sized hail back over in Bogota, if I'm saying that right, over in Jasper County, Illinois. There was quarter-sized hail reported near the Newton Power Station. There was also $half-sized hail reported over in Dieterich, just west of Wheeler, and also some nickel-sized hail from well earlier when the storm was first beginning near Effingham. So those areas, again, have seen the ongoing hail threat. That hail threat is likely now near Albany. So that's what we got going as of right now. We do have 7 other severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. Let's hop over to those. We actually have a brand new one in West Virginia. Let's hop over to the one south of Pittsburgh. This area has had actually a recent tornado warning about an hour ago or so back out in eastern Ohio. But this storm at this given time is primarily comprised of damaging winds. Here's a look at the velocities as of right now. So the highest wind speeds right now near Cokeburg as well as Bentleyville. That's moving off to the east, and again, that potential for some damaging winds up to 60, maybe a little bit of quarter-sized hail as well. I would expect the main threat though with this storm is definitely damaging winds, definitely some high downburst winds moving off to the east. A couple of other storms behind it. Most of these are from that weakening line of storms from earlier this morning, actually, that entered into western Ohio this morning. Most of it is just scattered activity. Nothing is really expected to be severe, probably beyond 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or so central time. Here's a look down to the south. We actually have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is well down to the south. This back down in West Virginia. There's actually a tornado possible on this one, but this is currently producing damaging winds around 60, maybe a little bit of penny to dime-sized hail. But there is a tornado possible on this. We'll take a look at the rotation, and as of right now, there's definitely some broad rotation here, so I'll have to watch this one pretty closely. But overall, again, nothing to be concerned about in the very short term, but definitely watch out for it maybe a little bit more in the long term. So tornado possible on this. That does mean there's some broad rotation with it. Again, if it does start to strengthen, we'll likely see a tornado warning at some point with that, but I'll have to wait for that here over the next several minutes. All right, let's hop back down to the south. We have other severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. One over in eastern North Carolina, 60-mile-per-hour winds with this one. This will be heading toward the beaches, so if you're anywhere along the North Carolina beaches, definitely make sure you're prepared for these storms and make sure you're getting away from the waters, get to your vehicle before those storms arrive. If you hear thunders, make sure to go indoors. As of right now, south of Columbia, some damaging winds around 60 ongoing that direction. Outflow boundaries carrying a lot of those storms. I have another storm down in South Carolina as well for some 60-mile-per-hour winds near Lake City, and that's also moving off to the east. Again, 60-mile-per-hour winds. My only concern with any storms down this direction, we had some severe thunderstorms actually ongoing in Louisiana. Those seem to have ended at this point. Back over in Nebraska, this will be our area to watch a little bit later. We do have a few little areas of some storm development now. We will have to watch for severe weather tonight. We will likely get a severe thunderstorm watch here pretty soon for Nebraska, so we will be covering that here pretty closely as well. We have, I believe, 9 severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where are the other 3? They must be over in Arizona. We actually have 2 over in California, which is crazy. But we do have a cell ongoing here near Green Valley, Arizona. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail. That currently moving off to the north. Real quickly, I don't think we've ever actually gone to California before in terms of weather, but there are actually 2 severe thunderstorm warnings over here for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. That's near Barstow, and also one back up here to the north, which seems to be in a pretty rural area, maybe near the mountain region. So overall, that's kind of interesting. We usually never look over there in California, but there's actually a couple of severe thunderstorms ongoing over that direction, primarily damaging winds around 60. So that's what we got going as of right now. Again, we'll keep you updated the latest. We do have a tornado possible on one of those storms, so we will be watching that one very closely. Obviously, there's a low-end tornado threat tonight, but the main concern will be damaging winds and maybe some isolated large hail. Let me go over to this radar. There we go. So again, this is our ongoing cell over in Illinois, southern Illinois, if you're just tuning in. Again, heading down to the southeast, it has a flash flooding component, as well as that potential for half-dollar sized hail and damaging winds around 60 to 65 miles per hour. Alrighty, let's take a look at questions. I know a lot of you guys, again, I'm back. I'm a little bit sick, as I mentioned before. Kind of hear it in my voice, but we'll try to see what happens here. Let me go over to... Never mind. Hey, Gabe, how you doing? Welcome back. Moxie, how you doing as well? Welcome back. Devin, how you doing? Welcome back as well. Yeah, today I'm not feeling nearly as bad. Yesterday I had a fever. Today I don't. I'm more just congested now more than anything. But yeah, you might be able to hear it a little bit. But yeah, I'm definitely more congested more than anything today. Yesterday I had a fever though. And yesterday I also had a sore throat, so I don't really have a sore throat today, which is good. Hey Midnight, how you doing? Welcome back as well. Yeah, we'll be actually, yeah, there's a storm over near Cincinnati right now. I don't know if there's any rotation on it, but there was, this one of these had a special weather statement on it, which just means it's a strong storm. We'll take a look at the velocities real quick. This storm over here near Bethel actually has a little bit of rotation, which we'll have to watch that one pretty closely. You can see the live radar, a little bit of a hook here. Inflows right there, a little bit of rotation. I'll have to watch the storm pretty closely. You never know. With these sort of storms, you could maybe see a brief or weak tornado, so I'll have to watch that closely. Also, one back out here to the west that seems to have pretty tight rotation, but I'm not entirely buying that. We'll go to the close-up radar. Take a look. Yeah, I don't know about that. That storm doesn't seem to have nearly as much rotation. We'll go over to the Indianapolis radar. And yeah, not a whole lot of rotation here. There's a little bit of rotation, but overall it's mainly just a strong storm at this given time. We'll have to watch this one down in southern Ohio for some rotation. A couple of storms to watch there. Again, there is a low-end tornado threat. We obviously have one ongoing in West Virginia that I'll have to watch pretty closely as well. But again, 9 severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing, one with a tornado possible over West Virginia. We'll keep you updated with the latest on that. All right. Any tornado threat with this cell? It depends on what cell you're talking about, but this one specifically, no. The only cell that right now has a given tornado possible label is the one over in West Virginia, but there are a couple of other storms rotating. The one that is actually south of Pittsburgh wasn't rotating. The one that's like it's like southwest of Pittsburgh near Claysville that's not warned has had some broad rotation. There was a tornado warned cell in in East Ohio earlier, which that storm actually still has some broad rotation, but again, there are several storms rotating. This one specifically, I don't think is rotating right now. It's primarily just winds, and it is outflow driven, so I don't expect much in terms of a tornado threat with this cell at this given time. It will likely be just heavy rain, and obviously that hail threat of half-dollar sized hail and potentially some damaging winds around 60 miles per hour are my main concerns at this given time. Again, this one's currently in southern Illinois. We actually have a little hail core back up here just west of St. Marie, which we'll have to watch pretty closely as well. All right, let's go back down here. All right, I think I caught up in chat. Again, if you're just tuning in, appreciate it. Welcome. Again, I'm a little bit sick today, but There was apparently some piece-sized hail over in Ventana Ranch, New Mexico. So over in New Mexico, there's a little bit of hail as well. And obviously, I saw this earlier too. There was a little lowering actually over in Westport, Indiana. It looks to be probably some sort of at least funnel cloud, if not maybe even a brief tornado. It's hard to tell. I don't think it's a scud cloud. I think a few people were saying that on Twitter. Can't tell if it's a scud cloud. I can't show it. I'll retweet it though on Twitter. But it looks to be something along the lines of at least some sort of lowering. That was in Westport, Indiana. Let me go and figure out where Westport, Indiana was. It was from earlier. I don't know how long it was. I think it was at least about an hour ago, though. Let me take a look. It was retweeted. Actually, it was only about 20 minutes ago. So over in Westport, Indiana, that's west of Indiana. So that's basically over here. So that was actually possibly with one of these storms that is rotating right now. So that is east of Columbus. So, here's Westport right here. So about 25 minutes ago, there's a picture sent in of some rotation, possibly a lowering. It may have been from this storm, possibly. This one has had some rotation. And this storm near Westport, not nearly as impressive. It's more of just winds at this point. But again, I retweeted on Twitter. If you want to check out that photo, you can go to my Twitter down in the description below. But we will be monitoring that potential. And obviously, it does look like there was some sort of lowering. I don't believe it was a scud cloud for reference, but there was definitely a little bit of a lowering there, it looks like. So just a new report that we have coming out of there. Yeah, there's a lot of rotation. As I mentioned before, a lot of storms rotating. Once we get a tornado warning, we will definitely be on it. But as of right now, most of the storms as of this given time. And apparently there's a report that somebody said there was a brief tornado or landslide on the ground northwest of Westport, which has since lifted. Again, I can't confirm that report, but there very well may have been a brief tornado over in Westport, which again is in Indiana, from about 25 minutes ago. So there may have been one. That's just one person on Twitter saying that. Again, I can't confirm that, but that was a report that we had come in from somebody over on Twitter. Let's look at a storm from earlier. Let's go over to this. Here's a storm from earlier. Kind of hard to show, but this is a time lapse from a storm from earlier over in Tucson, if I'm saying that right, Tucson or Tucson, one of those three pronunciations over in Arizona. So there's a little storm that developed there. Also, quarter-sized hail is reported over in Olney from our latest report. So this storm, obviously the hail core is now down here, now near Calhoun, southwest of Claremont. But this storm did produce quarter-sized hail over in Olney. That's our latest report from that direction. Yeah, there was definitely hail there. So quarter-sized hail, maybe even as high as half-dollar sized hail over there in Olney was our latest report. So again, we are seeing hail with this storm. Again, half-dollar sized hail is possible. We had a little hail core actually still ongoing, possibly up here near St. Marie and near 130. A little bit of a hail core ongoing right now. So something else to keep in mind as well. We do have a tornado warning. So, again, brand new tornado warning. This storm has been rotating for a while. We're going to go over to this, again, brand new tornado warning has just been issued for areas in eastern Indiana. This is just off to the west of Ohio. Again, brand new tornado warning just got issued. Seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. This does include areas over in St. Leon, Bright, Lawrenceburg, Harrison, as well as just east of Sunman. Those areas included. Again, a brand new tornado warning has just been issued for these areas. Again, seek shelter immediately away from windows. Our rotation on this has been actually fairly strong for a while. So again, area of rotation is currently here. Again, I'm not entirely sure if this was the exact cell that went through Westport that may have produced a brief or weak tornado there. But this cell, again, has had some rotation for a good amount of time now. And again, it's going to be heading towards most likely Bright over the next several minutes. Again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. You can very clearly see here. Here's your hook. Here's your inflow going to the storm. Again, if there would be a tornado, likely going to be located right there to the southeast of Sunman. Again, heading off toward 1 over the next several minutes. So again, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible. And also, I did forget to mention this. We have 2 severe thunderstorm watches ongoing, 1 till 10 o'clock for southwestern Ohio, northern Kentucky, and southeast Indiana. Also, the other one till 10 o'clock, that does include eastern Illinois, southern Indiana, northern portions of Kentucky. I did forget to mention that. But as I mentioned before, tornado warning ongoing. Locations are on the left side of your screen. It also does include Greendale, Hidden Valley, as well as St. Leon, as I mentioned before, West Harrison, Dover, Weisburg, Interstate 74, US Route 52, as well as New say the name right. So those areas again included in this brand new tornado warning. Again, rotation is currently centered just back out here to the west, so it's kind of on the western part of the storm where that hook is as of right now. So again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Definitely a dangerous storm ongoing as of right now. Again, moving off to the east. Again, brand new tornado warning. Thank you, by the way, Joshua, Joanne, as well as Jonah for subscribing by as well. Appreciate it. No, honestly, this didn't come out of nowhere. This has been rotating for a while, so I'm not surprised that we have a tornado warning on this. Let's go over to the velocities. Here's your latest radar scan. Definitely a pretty decent hook here. Go over to the velocities and take a look. And yeah, as I mentioned before, definitely some rotation here. Something to watch very closely. We'll take a look at the correlation coefficient. And as of right now, it does show a little bit here, but I believe that is where the reflectivity is not nearly as pronounced. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. So again, nothing I can confirm as of right now is there being a tornado on the ground at this given time, but we definitely have some pretty strong rotation here. Again, seek shelter. If you're anywhere just off to the west of Bright or even in Bright, you should be in shelter immediately. Lawrenceburg as well. Any locations on the left side of your screen here in that red box are areas that should be in shelter right now. Again, this is just off to the east and southeast of Sunman, currently moving off to the east. We have a brand new tornado warning. We're now up to 2 tornado warnings. I believe this is the one over in West Virginia. So again, brand new tornado warning has just been issued off to the northeast of Charleston. And this storm is currently, again, tornado warned, moving off to the southeast. Seek shelter immediately away from windows. This is south of Sutton near Highway 19. This cell has been pretty potent as well. Here's a look at the velocities. We have a fairly tight area of rotation here. Take a look at the correlation coefficient and take a look at that. And there might be a tornado on the ground with this. It's kind of hard to tell, but there might be one. There's definitely some strong rotation here, though. Just south of Highway 19, it is going off to the southeast. Again, a brand new tornado warning. Seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Again, this is now another one that is currently south of Sutton. There is definitely some strong rotation here. I'm going to take a look if we have any other radar site views on this. But again, this is another tornado we have ongoing as of right now. If we go up to the northern radar site, rotation is not nearly as strong, but it definitely not something you should be, you should still be in shelter regardless. We'll have to watch this pretty closely still. Again, moving down to the southeast as of right now, and obviously we do have a hail core with this, probably at least $half size tail, if not maybe even a little bit larger. So again, another tornado warning ongoing. We have now one in Indiana and one in West Virginia. So again, seek shelter away from windows and lowest floor possible. Again, this is now our second tornado warning. So far, we also have another storm rotating back up in Pennsylvania, from what I know. So again, that's what we have ongoing as of right now. Again, brand new tornado warning moving down to the southeast near Highway 19. We'll be watching this very closely for you. Again, rotation seems to be pretty strong right now, going toward Highway 19 as of right now. Definitely a storm to watch very closely. And let's take a look. We had a water spout over at Lake Huron, if I'm not mistaken. Over in Michigan from earlier, by the way. Let me go ahead and show you a photo of this. There was a water spout actually from earlier. By the way, thank you, Brian, for becoming a Storm Chaser member. I really do appreciate that, Brian. Thank you very much. Here's a look at the water spout over Michigan from earlier. So this is, again, your water spout here. So there was actually a water spout on the water for about 5 minutes over in Lake Michigan earlier. So that was obviously, there was actually a tornado warning back up there earlier. So that's one of our most recent reports up that direction. Again, here's your ongoing tornado warning, currently moving down to the southeast near Highway 19. We will go back to this storm here pretty shortly. As I mentioned before, we do have another tornado warning ongoing. This one is currently in southeastern Indiana as of right now. We'll take a look at this one. I believe the radar should be updating right now if it hasn't already, and it actually is right now. So we'll take a look at the next radar update here in a second. Again, we have 2 tornado warnings ongoing, one in West Virginia, one currently over in southeastern Indiana. Take a look at the velocities here on the latest update here in just a moment. Thank you again, Brian, though. I appreciate that. Appreciate you becoming a member. Thank you. Yeah, that was probably, yeah, I'm pretty sure that water spout from earlier was from an ongoing, that was obviously from that tornado warning earlier. I believe that's what it came from earlier, so. Two-inch hail was reported on the severe thunderstorm warning in Illinois. Really? 2-inch hail? I'll take a look at that here in a second. All right, here's the latest radar update. Velocity should be coming in here in just a second. And here's a look at the rotation as of right now. Overall, the rotation is not overly strong in this storm. It very well could be some sort of landspout situation. Again, here's your rotation. It's just to the southwest of Bright. Still make sure you're in shelter, but overall, the rotation is not the tightest it's been at this point. But it has weakened slightly, but it very well could redevelop. We'll have to watch this one still pretty closely. Somebody mentioned we have 2-inch size tail back over here that was just reported. Yeah, there actually was 2-inch hail reported over in Olney. So this storm actually is a brand new severe thunderstorm warning as well for ping pong ball sized hail. Over in Olney, there was a 2-inch sized hailstone reported. So this storm is producing some pretty large hail as well. That is going toward Mount Carmel as of right now. Let's go back over here. Tornado possible again in southwestern portions of Pennsylvania. We'll be watching that one closely. Again, it's not a tornado warning, but it's another storm to watch closely. This is again our ongoing tornado warning over in West Virginia as well. This is currently moving down to the southeast. Again, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. This storm has been pretty pronounced for the last several minutes, and it very well could produce a tornado at any time. We will be keeping you updated the latest if we have any more information on this storm. I'm going to take a look if we do have any information on the West Virginia tornado warning as of right now. Again, as of right now, from one radar view, it shows very tight rotation. The other one, not nearly as strong. Usually when one is not showing nearly as strong rotation, it doesn't mean there's a tornado on the ground at the given time. Again, this is what it looks like as of right now. We definitely have some high winds with this storm, but we very well may have some sort of tornado aspect to this as well. Again, moving down to the southeast, has a pretty pronounced hook, as I mentioned before. Here's your hook as of right now, and I can't draw. Here's a look at your hook as of right now. Again, here's your inflow. So if there were to be a tornado, it would likely be located somewhere right about there, just off right now to the west of Highway 19. Again, this is tracking down to the southeast as of right now. So we'll have to watch the storm again very closely as it moves down that direction. Again, this is just one of 2 tornado warnings they have ongoing as of right now. We also have one again back over in Illinois. Indiana, that we'll be watching pretty closely as well. Thank you, Squidward, as well, for becoming a Storm Chaser member. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you guys becoming members today. Again, Brian and Squidward, appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you. I think we're only 8 members away from 100, by the way, so maybe we'll hit that today. All right, let's take a look at chat here. Rotation in Pennsylvania is southwest Pennsylvania. I believe it's pretty close to the, I'll go ahead and show you here. It's a tornado possible. It's south of Pittsburgh. Let's look at it as of right now. Take a look at the rotation real quick. This is the storm that they're most concerned about. It's southwest of Green Hills. Rotation not nearly over. It was a little bit more pronounced earlier. Definitely a storm to watch still, though. Again, that's moving down to the east-southeast. Uniontown would likely be on the track that over the next several minutes. So, again, that'll be an area to watch as well pretty closely. Here's the other storm, as I mentioned before, that has some rotation. We do have a new radar scan. We'll take a look at it and see if there's any rotation ongoing. Again, broad rotation at this given time right now near 1. There may have already been a tornado with this storm. At this given time, there was something reported over Westport that was potentially some sort of lowering or even a brief tornado. But as I mentioned before, it was just a report on Twitter, not confirmed at this given time. We'll have to watch that still pretty closely. Again, this is the tornado warning just off to the east of Westport. This is in, again, southeastern portions of Indiana. It will likely move into Ohio as well as even maybe northern Kentucky over the next several minutes as well. Think back over here. Thank you, Samuel, by the way, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Again, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. Would appreciate it. Helps our page out a lot. And again, like the video if you haven't already. Let me go back over to the other tornado warning. We're actually up to 12 severe thunderstorm warnings, by the way. We are on 2 tornado warnings. Again, this is the one currently in eastern Indiana. We have obviously that severe thunderstorm warning ongoing in southeastern Illinois that's producing up to hen egg sized hail. We have a recent report of that. Again, this is the tornado warning cell currently over in West Virginia. Again, this has been producing some pretty tight rotation for some time now. Again, this is currently also producing some $half sized hail at least. But yeah, the rotation is still there. This is definitely a storm to still watch pretty closely. Again, there may be some sort of tornado at some point with this down the road. Again, very pronounced hook as of right now. Decent inflow going to the storm. Again, typically if there were to be a tornado, be located right about there. Again, this is currently tracking down to the east-southeast. So again, something to watch pretty closely. Again, where the rotation is, which it kind of represents its way down here, I don't think this is a tornado. I get that's really strong rotation, but this is nowhere near the actual storm. Really, where there's any rotation or where there would be any would probably be closer to that little hook. So that's kind of what we're looking at this given time. If there were to be a tornado, it would likely be located closer to that little hook back here, just off to the west right now of Highway 19 for reference. So again, if we go up to this radar site up here, back up near Pittsburgh, I know this is a much further view from the storm. But you kind of see not nearly as pronounced by any means on that radar, but that's also much further away. I think there was a closer radar site that was showing before. I don't know where it was, but again, overall, this rotation at this given time, there's some rotation, but it's not the strongest I've ever seen, at least near that little hook. But we'll have to watch it still pretty closely. And here's a look at the rotation as of right now. A bit discombobulated at this point, I would say, but we'll have to watch it still pretty closely. Again, this storm's currently moving down to the southeast. Seek shelter immediately away from windows. It's south of Sutton as of right now. All right. Check correlation coefficient. I'll take a look. Might show some crazy stuff over here, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's that defined at this point. Take a look back near the eye, or not the eye, but near the hook and inflow. Overall, this is kind of where if there were to be a tornado, it'd be likely located there. Go back over to the correlation coefficient. It's not indicating a whole lot. Now, again, we are not too far away from the radar site. The overall velocities aren't also that strong at this given spot, so it's kind of hard to determine at this given time, at least radar indicated wise, if there's actually a tornado in this storm. But that's what we're looking at right now. I'll take a look at the warning details here. Yeah, it's just currently radar indicated rotation. I don't believe we have any reports of funnel clouds or anything like that with this storm yet. Let me take a look here. All right, sorry, I was looking at Discord. Let's take a look. Let me go back over here. Do we have any I don't know if there was a watch yet issued for Nebraska. I was gonna take a look real quick. Yeah, we don't have it. Again, if you're over in Nebraska, there's likely gonna be a severe thunderstorm watch issued there pretty soon as well. No severe thunderstorm warnings, I don't believe, as of now there, but all right. Thanks, EJ, by the way. I appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. Let me go back over to the other storm in Indiana as of right now. We'll go hop over to that real quick. Again, this is our ongoing tornado warning currently north of Richwood over in West Virginia. It is in a pretty rural area, but this one's definitely a bit more of a populated area as of right now. Again, there is some rotation currently located just west of 1. Again, moving off currently to the east. Again, Bright and Cleves would likely be in the track of this over the next several minutes. Again, here's your rotation as of right now. Again, it's not overly strong. We could see the strengthen, though. It's definitely not out of the question. We have a pretty decent inflow here. Definitely pretty decent amount of rotation as well. We'll have to watch this, though, again, very closely. Definitely a decent hook here. Here's your inflow, as I mentioned before. Hook right here. Again, if there would be a tornado, likely to be located there. It's likely going to be rain wrapped as well, unless you're like near 48 looking off to the northeast. It is definitely going to be very difficult to see this ongoing, rotation at this given time. I do believe the rotation is a bit stronger as we go higher up with this storm, so there is likely at least some sort of maybe wall cloud or some sort of upper level rotation that's ongoing. Again, it's heading toward Cleves as of right now. I will actually put timing on this. Let me go and do that real quick. And put on some timing, kind of give you an idea of what we got going in that department, and kind of give you an idea of when this storm might arrive to your location. I might have to zoom out here a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to zoom out. Let me try to redo this real quick. Again, this storm's currently moving about 25 miles per hour. I'm gonna kind of put it on this entire storm here, but this is kind of the timing at this given time for this storm. Again, those in southwestern Ohio might have to start getting prepared for this cell. Again, no reason to seek shelter, but if you get into a warning, just make sure you're seeking shelter. Have a plan in place at least. Have a way to, get in shelter and have a, your regular plan in place. But again, timing on the left side of your screen's in central time. I believe most of Ohio is in eastern time. If not, I think the entire state actually is. So timing, just add an hour to your time, and that's when it will arrive to your location. So for example, White Oak as of right now 6:55 Eastern, as well as Northbrook about 7 o'clock, eventually Covington right around 7:11, eventually Cincinnati right around 7:15. That's basically your timing at this given time. Again, all the locations on the left side of your screen in currently central time. And that's what we got going as of right now. Again, another tornado warning in West Virginia. We'll get back to that here in a second, but I believe this one's definitely in a bit more of a populated region at this given time. Go back over to the velocities and take a look as well. And as I mentioned before, rotation's not the most strong I've ever seen, but definitely could strengthen any time. We're going to watch this one pretty closely. Again, it very well might be able to recycle. Has a pretty pronounced inflow as of right now as well. So definitely a storm to watch very closely. Thank you, Chris, Emily B, I think it is, and as well as Corey for subscribing, by the way. Hey, Pro Magic, how you doing? Welcome back to Souls Planet. How you guys doing? Welcome back. All right, let me go back over to the reports. Take a look. By the way, if you have any storm reports or anything like that, feel free to put them in the chat. Also on our Discord server. Again, Discord's linked in the description if you want to join that. I'm going to take a look at Twitter and see if we have anything coming in on either of these storms. Again, this one's over near Bright, Indiana. Currently moving off to the east. Again, overall rotation has not been overly strong with this storm, at least in the last several minutes. It has started to strengthen a little bit, though, here near 1. It was the strongest back over in the west part of this tornado warning. So just southeast of Sunman's when it had the strongest rotation. So we will still have to watch it pretty closely. Just a real quick update, by the way, over down in Illinois. This storm has been producing up to hen egg sized hail. We also have a large tree down over on Northeast Street, a few yards from I don't know how to pronounce that, near the Memorial Hospital, though. So there was actually a large tree down. That is, again, a storm that produced 10 egg sized hail as well. That is all associated with this ongoing area of storms that is also producing a flash flooding threat as well. Hail has been as high as hen egg size with this storm. It very well may still be producing that hail up to hen egg size right now. The warning is currently ping pong ball size, but I would not be surprised if it's a little bit larger than that. Let me go back over my phone real quick. Again, if you're just tuning in, I am a little bit sick, as mentioned before, so I do sound congested, and I'm not going to be talking nearly as much as I do, and I do not mean to do that. Let me go over here to the radar here. All right. Hey, Storm Chaser, how you doing? Welcome back. As of right now, tornado warning is currently in eastern Indiana, southeastern Indiana, as well as one over in West Virginia. Those are two areas where we have some rotation as of right now. There's also a tornado possible label on a storm, which is, again, is just broad rotation over in southwest Pennsylvania. I believe that rotation is not overly impressive right now. It was a little bit more impressive once it entered the state. But we'll have to watch that one pretty closely as well. Again, this is a storm currently southwest of Bright, moving off to the east. Trying to get to a better radar view here on the velocities. And again, here's your rotation. So again, here are your winds currently going away from the radar here, again going towards the radar. Again, overall the rotation is currently centered here at this given time, so that's what we got going as of right now. Again, overall rotation still broad. It very well could develop though at any time. So again, tornado could even happen in between scans, but it's definitely a very impressive cell here, heading towards areas like Cleves and possibly even Cincinnati. Cincinnati will actually be possibly in the track of that. Let's go back over to the tornado warning in West Virginia. We'll take a look at this one again. As I mentioned before, there's definitely some hail with this storm, possibly as high as ping pong ball size. Severe thunderstorm warning is going to expire on this storm probably right about now, actually within the next 10 seconds. Well, let's go over to the rotation as of right now. And again, rotation's been strong at times, but as of recently, again, it has already crossed over Highway 19. Again, if there were to be a tornado, it would likely be located somewhere within this little hook. So again, here's your hook as of right now, your inflow going to the storm. And again, overall rotation is likely located right about there. If there were to be a tornado, it would be located really right about that black circle. So again, just east of Highway 19, moving off to the southeast, again near 82. That's currently where we have the ongoing rotation as of right now. As of right now, we do have 6 severe thunderstorm warnings, and now down, still at 2 tornado warnings. The other ones just got, or actually just expired. So we will likely get some new warnings so here pretty soon. Let me go back over here to the west. We'll go back over to the Cincinnati one as of right now. Again, this tornado warning just went west, of Cincinnati. Again, tornado warning still ongoing for Indiana and one over in West Virginia. Thank you, EJ. Appreciate it. Let me go back over here to the storm. Again, we currently have some rotation on this one. And as of right now, we do have a hail report coming in from Hidden Valley, which is embedded in this tornado warning of pea-sized hail. So there's at least a little bit of hail with it. Obviously, it's not warned for hail. It's really just that tornado threat as of right now. But down near Hidden Valley, which is kind of located here near Highway 50, we have a little report coming in there of pea-sized hail with this storm. And again, the main threat and main concern right now is definitely that tornado threat. Again, make sure you're getting away from windows, lowest floor possible. Seek shelter. Again, if you're anywhere in this tornado warning for the next several minutes, a warning does not expire for another 14 minutes. As of what we know now, there's possibility for a tornado anytime. Yeah, we actually had some golf ball sized hail reported back over in Bogota, Illinois, that county, Jasper County. That was a little while ago, but we actually have a photo coming in from Guilford, Indiana, which definitely looks to be some sort of lowering with this storm. I'm going to go and retweet it on Twitter. Again, if you want to check out the tweet, you can go to my Twitter, linked in the description below. Definitely a lowering, though, over in with this storm in Indiana. Again, this was about, let's see, actually not even a minute ago. So at this point, we still have some sort of lowering with this storm. There's definitely some rotation here with this storm. It is moving off to the east. Again, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows, lowest floor possible. So at this given time, we do have a little bit of a lowering what this looks like. Again, there has been rotation with the cell for a while. Near the surface, not nearly as impressive, but it is definitely more impressive the higher up you go here with this storm. Again, rotation a little bit stronger higher up. So a few thousand feet off the ground, we are definitely looking at a little bit more of rotation at this given time. Closer to the surface, as I mentioned before, nothing on the ground at this given time, but we'll have to watch it again very closely as it moves off to the east. Again, Cleves will be next and track this. It will obviously go towards potentially Cincinnati as well, so a few areas to watch very closely. Thanks, Roblox. Appreciate it. I didn't even realize we hit that. I am sick, Christian. Thank you. Again, I am sick. As I mentioned before, I had a fever yesterday. Also, I've been congested all day today, so you'll hear my congestion in my voice. I want to make sure I went live. Obviously, I want to make sure everybody's safe tonight. There's obviously a lot of severe weather ongoing as of right now. And obviously, we do have 2 tornado warnings, and one obviously ongoing right now in eastern and southeastern Indiana. This will be entering into western and southwestern Ohio pretty soon. There's also one over in West Virginia. I was actually hoping to go live yesterday, but again, I was really sick. I was more sick yesterday than today. Yesterday I had a fever. All right. Yeah, reports. Yeah, I saw the reports. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of those reports I get on my end, I've been kind of going back and forth with those as well. Yeah, we've had a lot of hail reports over in Illinois so far. There's definitely a lot of hail ongoing over that direction. Again, we'll get back to those storms pretty soon. There's obviously that flash flooding threat ongoing with that one as well. So hail has been as high as hen egg sized over that direction. We've seen some pretty large hail out that direction so far. Again, this is our ongoing tornado warning. We may get a new one on this. We'll have to wait and see. Again, 12 more minutes on this warning. Rotation has not entered Ohio by any means yet. It will likely be pretty soon, though. We will see if we get a new tornado warning. I wouldn't be surprised. But again, Cincinnati probably not going to get included in that tornado warning, at least initially, if we do get a new one. The overall, again, lowering's been there for a while. So I'll have to watch that again pretty closely. Thanks, Virginia. By the way, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. The storm's currently heading off to the east, southeast. All right. No problem, Virginia. East, southeast of that storm. Just have a plan in place. If you're not in the tornado warning yet, you should just at least have a plan in place. Again, this storm will be heading off toward probably Cincinnati. It's a matter of, I mean, the rotation has been broad at the surface. It's been a little bit stronger higher up. We've at least had some sort of lowering with this cell at this point, but again, a lot of stuff could happen in between now and then. At this given time, just make sure you have a plan in place. No reason to seek shelter if you're not in the tornado warning, though, as of now. But obviously, if you're over in Cleves, you definitely have the biggest, need to at least have something in place, because obviously this will be there probably within the next 10 to 15 minutes. This is moving not quickly, but it's moving about 25 miles per hour off to the east, which will probably be in Cleves within the next 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes, I should say. Again, pretty pronounced hook still ongoing with that cell. Go back over to West Virginia real quick. We've had some rotation, as I mentioned before, on this storm. It is tornado warned. Currently moving off to the east. It's east of Highway 19. Let's go back over to the velocities on this one. And as of now, there's still some rotation. As I kind of mentioned before, it hasn't been overly impressive. Again, if there were to be a tornado be located here, definitely a pretty strong inflow. Here's your hook, as I mentioned before. There's your hail. Yeah, that's currently north of 82 and east of 19. Again, moving on to the east, southeast, the next town and track of this is going to probably be Webster Springs. So that's kind of what we're looking at as of right now. The next place in track, Cohen as well. Cohen, make sure you're still in shelter. But as of right now, again, anywhere near 20 will likely be in the track of this ongoing tornado warning cell as well. Again, moving down to the southeast and southeast over the next several minutes. So again, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible in that cell. All right, let's go back over to the Indiana storm. We'll be touching back on the Illinois storm here pretty soon as well. If there's no tornado warnings, we'll definitely get back to that one. But as I mentioned before, this is definitely a dangerous storm right now heading off to the east. We'll have to watch this one again pretty closely. Have I made a video? I made a video yesterday and today. Any tornadoes will be possible in West Virginia today. We already have one tornado warning ongoing, so. All right, let me go back over to Twitter real quick. Again, if you have any photos, videos, anything like that with any of these storms, feel free to tweet us on Twitter. Link in the description. Again, if you haven't already, I'll link our Twitter or Discord actually in the chat if you want to join our Discord server as well. If you have photos or videos there, you can click the link in the chat from Nightbot. Again, but ongoing tornado warning until another 8 minutes going towards Cleves. Let me go back over here real quick. All right. Yeah, again, tornado warning still ongoing, has not been canceled this given time. Again, 7 more minutes on it. We have a tornado warning again in West Virginia that is also still ongoing. Neither of them have been canceled at this point. They still have rotation. Obviously, it's pretty obvious at this point. We've had a lowering, as I mentioned before, with this one over in Indiana, currently moving towards Cleves. This specific storm at this point has had a lowering, and again, the photos over on Twitter if you want to take a look on my Twitter page, linked in the description. But we've definitely had a lowering with this. Again, it's moving towards Cleves. We'll have to wait and see if we get a new tornado warning. At this given time, the rotation's not been overly impressive in the latest scans, but we will have to see. Again, a little bit higher up, it's a little bit stronger, but this given time, again, pretty strong inflow, decent hook as of right now. We'll have to wait and see. Definitely a pretty impressive sell as of right now, though, moving off to the east. All right, let me go back over here. Vezar, I have no clue. It might be extended. We'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if it got extended, but rotation near the surface hasn't been the best. We've had a lowering, though, at some point with this cell, so it's definitely not out of the question that we do get an extension on this, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, if there will be an extension, it would likely come in the next 3 to 4 minutes, because, again, the ongoing rotation is basically about to enter into Ohio now, so that's where it's at as of right now. Hey, Dobbs, how you doing? Welcome back. Northwest of Boggs, Indiana, or West Virginia, excuse me, there's possible rotation. Is that the storm currently ongoing over that? Is that the tornado warning cell, or is this a different one? I have a couple of storms. We have a lot of storms actually rotating tonight. The one that's been rotating the most at this point has been the one northwest of Cohen, which again could have a tornado at any time. But yeah, there's been several storms rotating so far. Hey, you will, by the way, for subscribing. Hey, nice you, Euro. Good luck with that. I don't know what that means, but oh, driver's license application. Never mind. Good luck with that. Yes, SPT, I do. Hey, Michelle, hope they're all right. Again, that looks like the storm just kind of narrowly missed you, unless you're kind of in northern Lawrenceburg. But overall, the rotation has at least stayed to your north, luckily. Hopefully you stayed safe. Hopefully you took the right precautions. So I'm glad, at least it looks like for now, that storm's kind of gone out of your way. But yeah, the rotation's primarily been up here near Highway 50 at this point. Again, that's where our rotation is, I believe. Let me go back over to the velocities. We'll double check that. It might be a little bit further off to the west here. Yeah, rotation's a little bit further back off to the west. We'll see. I don't know if we'll get a new tornado warning. Again, we've had a decent inflow here. We've had a decent hook. I just don't see a whole lot of rotation at the surface. We've had a little bit more rotation higher up, but overall has not been that impressive. Again, heading towards Cleves and Addington as well, and also near Cincinnati. So Cincinnati might be in the track of this. It might also go toward Covington as well. It might go just kind of south of Cincinnati over the next hour and a half. We'll have to wait and see, though. But I don't think we'll get a new tornado warning on this. But let me take a look. I don't think it's gotten canceled yet. If the warning gets canceled, we're on a whole new story. But yeah, as of right now, warning's still ongoing for at least the next 4 minutes. We definitely have some high winds, though. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a severe thunderstorm warning. I would assume we get some sort of new warning, though. I think the winds are at least 60 right now. Let's go over to the velocities onto this. Let's take a look at the winds right now on this. Yeah, they're at least 50, 57 right now near Greendale. So there are damaging winds with this, at least around 58. So we would probably get a severe thunderstorm warning at the minimum. But we also may get a new tornado warning. We'll have to wait and see. Again, warning still ongoing for another 3 minutes. Again, heading off to the east, southeast. Hey, Maiden, how you doing? Welcome back. Or Madden, welcome back. Hey, Lucas, how you doing? Welcome back as well. Yeah, tornado warning still ongoing for another 3 minutes. It actually just got condensed, I believe, a little bit. Yeah, tornado warning remains in effect. We have a flood report coming in over in California. Which road got flooded over completely over in Kern County in Rock Canyon, California. That is, again, we don't really look at California a whole lot, but there's actually been a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings over that direction. Quite interesting. And as of right now, by the way, we do have still a decent amount of severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. We actually have 9. Still have 2 tornado warnings ongoing. I'm going to see if we get a new tornado warning on this. We're going to real quickly go down to West Virginia, though. Again, this is the other tornado warning ongoing for at least another 2 minutes as well. Again, here's a look at the velocities as of right now with this cell. The rotation, again, has been pretty impressive, at least at this point. Again, it looks to be, though, where the rotation is fairly far off the storm. So I'm thinking that at this given time, this specific cell probably going to be more damaging winds, but here's a look at the correlation coefficient for reference. And as of right now, nothing that defined, but we definitely could see something in the next several minutes. Again, this is heading down to the southeast. We'll probably get a new tornado warning on this, to be honest, but overall the velocities, again, have been fairly strong for the last several minutes. But overall, again, the rotation's been kind of far away from the storm, not really where a tornado typically happens. But we do definitely have some high winds here. Let me actually go to the, let's take a look at how high these winds are right now. 64 miles per hour near 82. So we are definitely looking at some damaging winds. Again, if we do get new tornado warnings on either of these cells, we will likely get those details here within the next couple of minutes. And here's a look at that cell as of right now. Again, just off to the west of Webster Springs. I'll move back over here. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in up here, I believe, over in Ohio and West Virginia. This is producing 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds, quarter-sized hail. There's also a tornado possible on this. We have a brand new tornado warning that has just been extended onto this ongoing storm. Again, brand new tornado warning has just been issued, and this is again the one just now west or as well south of Webster Springs. It does include Cohen. And it also includes Camden on Golly and northeast of Craigsville. So again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Again, this is a brand new tornado warning. This storm has had rotation for a long time now. But again, moving down to the southeast as of right now, we do have a wall cloud that was reported, by the way, over in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So that is also with the other tornado warning storm that is going to expire here within the next 10 seconds. We may get a new warning on that one as well. We'll wait and see. But again, brand new tornado warning, West Virginia. Seek shelter immediately away from windows, lowest floor possible. Moving down to the southeast as of right now. Again, just to the south and west of Webster Springs, Cohen, Camden on Golly, as well as northeast of Craigsville are all included in year 20. Again, but we do have a new report coming in of a wall cloud over in Lawrenceville. Let me take a look at this. This was a wall cloud recently reported. Yeah, it's a pretty decent, I mean, that was also, this is not the storm that's producing the wall cloud, but there was a wall cloud reported over in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So we definitely had a little, again, there's been rotation with that storm for a while. It has been tornado warned. We might get a new tornado warning there as well. Let me go back over to the, okay, so as of right now, no new tornado warning on that other cell. We are currently at 1. We may get a new one. We'll see. I'm going to take a look if we have any warnings on that one. And as of now, nothing west of Cincinnati on that storm. But we, again, if there is still rotation ongoing, they may issue a new one here within the next minute. There's also a lowering of scud cloud, by the way, over in Indiana as well, Manchester, Indiana. So again, there's been a lot ongoing over there in Indiana. We also, obviously, we don't have nearly as many trees and mountains as we do in West Virginia. So there's gonna be a lot more reports on that storm. Again, that one's been warned for a while in terms of a tornado warning, but we might get a new one. We'll see. Again, this is the brand new one currently over in Cohen. Thank you, Gamer, by the way, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Tangent, how you doing? Welcome back. All right, let me back over to the velocities. We'll take a look at that again. Yeah, the overall rotation with the cell has been pretty impressive. And yeah, here's your rotation. Again, rotation is currently located near just north of Coden. Or the correlation coefficient. Again, correlation coefficient is not showing that we have a tornado on the ground right now, at least where the rotation is strongest. So what that basically means is that we probably don't have one at the given time. Again, one could happen at any time, though. This storm has, again, been rotating for a long time and has had some pretty strong rotation. So again, moving down to the southeast, going toward Cohen, excuse me, as of right now. Seek shelter, again, away from windows, lowest floor possible, near 82. We're going to keep you updated if we have any new photos or anything like that coming in as well. me go over to, here's a look at the latest radar scan. So again, rotation is currently centered just off to the north of Cohen near 82. Again, it's moving down to the southeast as of right now. Yeah, so I'm going to show you guys what we're looking at, by the way, as of 6:40. So about 7 minutes ago. This was the storm with a little bit of a lowering over in Indiana. A lot of scud clouds, as you can kind of see here. A lot of these, rough cloud shapes, those are all typically scud clouds, but there probably is a lowering in there somewhere. So we at least had some sort of lowering with this. Again, whether that may have produced something brief in terms of a tornado earlier or even then, it's not out of the question, but a lot of rain also behind that as well. But that was the one over in Indiana. So that's where our most recent photo that has come in on that storm. Thank you, as well as James, by the way, for subscribing. I saw it, Katie. I saw it. Yeah, overall, the rotation on this storm specifically, it looks to be pretty strong, but I just haven't seen anything to this point that would make me think that there's a tornado right now, but there definitely could be one at any time. The correlation coefficient was not picking up on anything in terms of debris at this point, but you never know. Definitely can't rule it out. Again, brand new tornado warning on this, so we'll have to wait and see. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's just been issued. We're up to 8 right now. Again, we'll try to get to those throughout the tornado warning as well. We have a couple, again, one in southwestern Pennsylvania, one in far eastern Ohio into extreme northern West Virginia. We do have a special weather statement back over west of Cincinnati for 45-mile-per-hour winds and half-inch size hail. We have a new warning over in portions basically north of Fort Branch. This is near Hazleton. Currently producing $quarter to $half size hail, maybe a size ping pong ball size hail, as well as damaging winds around 60. Again, this storm has already had confirmation of hail as high as hen egg size, so we've definitely seen some large hail out of that. We also have a warning over in the Oklahoma Panhandle that's producing damaging winds around 60 and quarter-sized hail. This is actually another warning we have ongoing as of right now. That is currently moving off to the northwest. So that's another one we have ongoing as of right now. We have one in Arizona, one in California, and that's what we got going for warnings as of right now. Going back to the tornado warning that we have in West Virginia. Pretty interesting. We actually have a severe thunderstorm warning over in Oklahoma, which is basically Texas. I mean, you can basically consider it as Texas. It's pretty much right there on the panhandle right there. All right, let me back over here. Back over to the velocities. Again, rotation as of right now has been, at this point, has been strong for a while, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, the correlation coefficient has not picked up on anything in terms of at least there being a tornado on the ground yet, but we'll have to wait and see. Rotation's been pretty strong here for a while. Again, moving down to the south, if there were to be a tornado, it would likely be located here. Again, that's north of Cohen, moving down to the south as of right now. Yeah, it is also, well, this is a rural area, but not just that. There's a lot of mountains and a lot of trees. So, I mean, trees can be picked up as debris as well. Just for reference. Thank you, Susan, for the report. Appreciate it. You think it'll drop a tornado? It might. Again, the rotation has been there. The overall environment isn't super capable of producing any tornadoes. If there were to be one, though, it would probably be brief and weak. I mean, I'm not expecting anything that strong in terms of a tornado threat, but definitely can't rule out something along the lines of maybe a brief or weak tornado. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued. I don't know where it is, but we're going to find out. I believe it's over in Arizona, so we won't really be covering that too much, but if there's anything over in Arizona, I might get to a little bit later. But yeah, anything tonight will likely be just some sort of, brief or weak instance. That's mostly what we see anyways in these sort of circumstances anyways, especially with storms like this. The overall environment isn't really supportive of anything beyond that. We don't have the strongest shear tonight, actually. Let me take a look at how much shear we have. I'm curious, the overall values here. I can take a look here on our software. Here's a look at the values. So near the surface, I mean, in this area, for instance, not overly high. It's a little bit higher back out here near Cincinnati. You can see low-level shears around 30 to 35 miles per hour. The low-level jet is also a little bit stronger over in Indiana. So around 40 to 45 miles per hour, actually, maybe peaking as high as 50 back over near Indianapolis. So there's actually a bit more of a low-level jet back over in Indiana, as well as areas like Ohio tonight, but overall tornado threat should still stay low over there. Don't have every characteristic for there to be a tornado threat today, but definitely can't rule out again. Kind of a situation where we'll see maybe a brief or a weak tornado, maybe a couple of those. And the severe thunderstorm watches also include that possibility tonight. Kind of my main concern at this point in terms of those, the tornadic storms. I do think there will just be brief or weak instances Also, by the way, we do have, again, 1 tornado warning ongoing. We have 9 severe thunderstorm warnings. We have, at this given time, 16 flash flood warnings, which are, again, are not included in the warning count down below. Warning count is only severe thunderstorm warnings. We have 6 special marine warnings, and that's what we got going as right now. We also have a bunch of special weather statements, but main threats at this point are typically with those tornado warnings, flash flood warnings, and also the severe thunderstorm warnings. Thank you, Jennifer, as well as Fox, for subscribing. Again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. We might be able to hit 14,500 subscribers tonight, so if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We are currently 160 away. Severe thunderstorm warning on London? Which London are you talking about? What on earth is a marine warning? It's for like lakes and like, you know, lakes, oceans, that sort of thing. It's basically if the wind speeds are exceeding 34 knots, I believe it is, and if there's hail or water spout possibilities with them. I don't know if we have a few ongoing. I can show you real quick. This is what a special marine warning looks like. So it's basically on the beaches and just off the coast. So you can see on the left side of your screen here, 34 knots. So if wind is exceeding 34 knots, those get issued. You can see them all up and down here, the North Carolina coastline. So that's what those are really all about. They're more about that in terms of the wind speeds as well as hail. I think hail gets warned around quarter size for those as well. And obviously, if there's water spouts, if there's any sort of water spout possibility, there will also be that issued on the warning as well. So yeah, but special marine warnings are for, you know, boaters and whatnot. They do also get issued for the lake region back up in Michigan. So, hey Robbie, how you doing? Welcome back. Thank you, Paul, Furry, as well as Ari for subscribing. Appreciate it. People can retract their own messages. That's what that means, by the way. So it basically just means you're removing your own message. All right, let me go back over to the velocities on this. Again, this storm's had rotation for a while here. We may have already seen a tornado with this. Again, there hasn't really been any reports of that, but there may have been one. You never know. Again, this storm's had rotation that's been fairly strong for a while, but at this given time, rotation is still not the strongest. Again, if there were to be a tornado, it'd be located here, most likely just off to the northeast now of Cohen. Again, moving down to the south and southeast. Near 20, and again, it will probably be going, again, after it goes through Cohen, it will likely be going through a mountainous region, most likely be a bit more rural. So overall, once it moves down that direction, we probably will not see, we probably won't focus too much more on this warning. We'll definitely watch it closely, but overall, a lot of rural space up until about Richwood and near 55 and 39, eventually closer to 150. Hillsborough and Marlinton will all be in the track of it pretty soon. So those areas, again, we'll get back to later, but Cohen is really the most immediate threat with this tornado warning as of right now, moving down to the south and southeast. Let's go back over to the reflectivity for now. We have 1 tornado warning. We currently have 10 severe thunderstorm warnings. We actually have 10 right now. Storm definitely has hail, by the way. We're probably at least looking at maybe some quarter-sized hail here. Yeah, we've had a little bit of rotation in southwestern Pennsylvania and a little bit in that eastern Ohio storm. Hey Kyler, how you doing? Welcome back. Let me back over to the radar here. The reflectivity, again, as I mentioned before, we definitely have some hail here. Actually, I'm curious to look at the hail radar. Take a look at that. See what we have in terms of hail right now. This storm probably at least has a little bit of hail. We'll take a look. And actually, the latest radar scans aren't really indicating much in terms of hail, which is interesting. Even though there looks to be a little bit of hail core, overall, the hail has not been that impressive. I mean, the highest hail that we've actually seen is around nickel size back up near Highway 19 in that initial tornado warning. So, interestingly enough, we're actually, the radar at least is estimating not a whole lot of hail there. Obviously, pink and usually a little bit of that black usually at least represents some pea size, maybe a little bit larger sized hail. Which is, again, pretty interesting. Usually the radar does mention something in terms of hail, but maybe, again, this is a mountainous region, so maybe the radar might be a little bit screwed up, or there might not even be hail to begin with. Maybe just heavy rain. But that's definitely interesting. I don't think the lapse rates are nearly as high back out here in West Virginia. I'm going to take a look real quick. which the lapse rates, if you're new to the whole weather stuff, basically a lapse rate is what, you know, how quickly a air parcel rises in the atmosphere in terms of how quickly the temperature drops. The quicker the temperature drops, typically I should say, the higher a hailstone threat will be with storms. So let me take a look at the lapse rates real quick. Yeah, and the kind of the range of when you have the best hail threat is typically with lapse rates around like 8 degrees Celsius per kilometer. Right now, it's only about 5.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer. So the lapse rates are not impressive at all over here. Basically, lapse rates back out in areas like, you know, Indiana and whatnot, they're going to be closer to around 7.5 tonight, which does indicate maybe a little bit of a marginal to maybe a little bit of a low-end slight risk of hail. And that would probably be anything under ping pong ball sized hail for the most part. Can't rule out maybe something a little bit larger. We've already seen hen egg sized hail from earlier with 1 cell. But overall, the hail threat should stay pretty low at that direction. Lapse rates are not overly high, though, tonight. Main threat, again, can be damaging winds tonight. Christian, we'll see. Tucson, thank you, Brian. I think you're really behind on the stream. All right, let me back over to the... Check Discord images? Okay, I'll take a look. Which storm is that? Is that the one over in Pennsylvania? Or is that the one? Yeah, the Pennsylvania storm. Take a look at it. Yeah, the few of these storms have had a little bit of rotation. This one near Valley Grove. Let's take a look at this one. I have a little bit of rotation there. It's broad. It's not anything strong. It has a little bit of rotation, though. We definitely have a bit of a hook here. It's quite interesting. It actually goes around pretty far. Inflow is going into the storm here. If there will be a tornado, probably going to be located somewhere around there. That's where our rotation is as of right now. Again, south of Valley Grove, moving off to the east and east-southeast. Definitely a storm to watch pretty closely. The other storm back out to the east of that is only quarter-sized hail now. I don't think there's a whole lot of rotation left with that storm. Both of those storms, I believe, are tornado possibles, though, so we'll have to watch it pretty closely. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, over in Fort Branch, as well as Oakland City, Somerville, Princeton, New Harmony, Griffin, all included for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and as well as half-dollar-sized hail. So that's the storm that, again, that's been producing that flash flooding threat. We will get back to that storm here pretty soon. We still have an ongoing tornado warning, though, for the next 15 minutes or so, unless otherwise canceled. That is also off to the northeast of Craigsville, again, over in West Virginia. Take a look at the velocities on my other radar here for a second. And honestly, the rotation with this storm has not been that impressive. We've had rotation from this one radar angle for a while. When you look at a different one, it's not nearly as impressive. But this is, again, where the rotation is as of right now. It's located right about there, which, again, it's not the most strong rotation I've ever seen. It's definitely not nearly as strong as you might think. So at this given time, rotation still broad, I would say. But if there would be a tornado at any time, it would be likely located somewhere in this area here, just off to the east of Cohen. Again, lapse rates are pretty low tonight, so they're not that, they're not fast. That's not going to mean there's much of a hail threat at this point with this storm. There was actually a confirmed EF1 tornado this morning in Beeson, Illinois. So we actually had a confirmed tornado this morning over in Beeson, Illinois. It was between 5:10 a.m. to 5:15 a.m. Central Time. The tornado was, estimated time was about 5:12 a.m. Estimated maximum wind speeds was about 105 miles per hour. And the path length was just about 2 miles. So we actually had a tornado on the ground for a few minutes over in Illinois this morning, apparently. And that was an EF1 tornado. I'll go and retweet that on Twitter if you, again, want to check it out. Twitter links in our description below. But that is also that's a brand new report that just came out. I didn't realize we had a tornado over there this morning. I don't know if there was a tornado warning over there this morning, but that was in a little farm area. Luckily, it wasn't anything too populated. No problem, Maria. Yeah, I don't really cover a whole lot of marine warnings, but obviously, if there's ever any marine warnings, we'll definitely kind of get to them. But they're not overly. They're pretty common. I mean, we see a lot of them during hurricane season and whatnot, especially when hurricanes are going to make landfall within the short term and whatnot. We have a lot more of them than anything. Which, by the way, if you haven't watched our latest forecast, we have a tropics update at the end of the video. There's a pretty big update on the tropics. It's going to probably remain pretty much dry for the next 14 days or so across areas like the Atlantic Ocean. That would include really anywhere in the Atlantic Ocean. The Gulf of Mexico, though, has a fairly favorable atmosphere and environment right now for tropical development. There's not a whole lot of shear. There's no Saharan dust. So if anything does come into the Gulf of Mexico, it could really rapidly strengthen. But it doesn't seem like anything is going to, at least in the short term. Thank you, by the way, Fitting, as well as Jordan and Builder and Brandy for subscribing, by the way. Hey, Border, how you doing? Welcome back. All right, we do have a new severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued for Nebraska, you said? Has it been issued? I don't see it on here. I'll take a look in a second on my... I don't see a severe thunderstorm watch yet for Nebraska. They do have a mesoscale discussion, but I don't see a watch that has been issued yet. And I don't think we've actually had any storms that have developed over in Nebraska yet. We've had a few that are strong, but there's nothing severe yet. Take a look at the radar here. Oh, we actually do have some storms developing. Yeah, we probably will get a watch if it hasn't already been issued. We might get one here in a few minutes. It's just a mesoscale discussion right now on it. Akil, this is currently in West Virginia. This specific tornado warning. Check Discord. Or am I checking in Discord? Oh, general chat. Okay, so we actually do. Okay, so there was actually been a severe thunderstorm watch issued. I just don't see it yet on my end. I don't think it's even been posted to the National Weather Service site yet. So yeah, I'll have to wait a second. It's not even posted on the Storm Prediction Center website, which is kind of funny. Usually that thing gets issued or gets posted, you know, when they come out. I'm surprised the Twitter page actually posted it before they did. So there has been a severe thunderstorm watch, though, issued for Nebraska. So as I kind of mentioned before, that's our next area to watch as well tonight. We have a couple of areas, again, the Midwest. Really not really Midwest, it's more of the Ohio Valley, as well as into the Central Plains. That's primarily Nebraska. So we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in Nebraska tonight for North Platte, Broken Bow, O'Neill, York, Grand Island, Lexington are the main areas included. Basically anywhere north of Interstate 80 is your main area. So what we got going as of right now. Let's go back up here to the north. We've had some rotation on this storm for some time. I'm going to take a look at the velocities on this. We might actually get a tornado warning on this here pretty shortly. This is south of Valley Grove, currently south of Highway 40. This rotation's been pretty impressive. We might get a tornado warning on this. Let's wait and see. I won't be surprised. This rotation's actually strengthened a lot more than before. This is currently off to the south of Valley Grove. This will be entering into Pennsylvania. We will be watching that storm very closely. I'm going to kind of shift our focus away from... Actually, the tornado warning has been canceled, which is good news. So, tornado warning for West Virginia has been canceled. We do have 7 severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. We currently have no tornado warnings, but we may get one here pretty shortly over here in eastern Ohio into western Pennsylvania. So, we'll have to watch this storm pretty closely. Let me go back over and change this, though, real quick. To tornado possible, and then we'll go back over to this. I need to make sure I'm on the right thing here. Oh, there we go. Let's go over to this rotation. The radar actually just updated, and the velocities radar should update here in just a second, I would say. Turn back on here. Yeah, there's rotation here. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a tornado warning on this one. This is currently looking to be actually a fairly strong... Again, here's your hook right now. Inflow going to the storm. Tornado would be located most likely rain wrap there, south of West Alexander. Currently moving off to the east. Definitely a very impressive cell here, moving off to the east. We'll have to watch that again very closely. Might get a tornado warning, though, here pretty shortly. There's a thunderstorm warning over in Florida, really. Actually, I have one up in south of Jacksonville. 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's about your only threat right now. That is near Green Cove Springs and Lakeside and Middleburg. So that's actually a brand new severe thunderstorm warning moving down to the southeast. Again, we are monitoring that tornado warning or the possibility for a tornado warning here over the next several minutes. I'll be watching that closely. All right, let me back over here to the north. Again, we haven't really touched on this storm recently. We actually have a new severe thunderstorm warning. We have a couple over here in Illinois. Again, flash flooding concerns still ongoing. We have a lot of flash flooding most likely already beginning near Newton as well as St. Marie. Those areas have seen a lot of rain over the last several minutes, possibly as much as 3 to 4 inches. Again, that might even be more than that in localized spots. I'll kind of give you more details on that here. And actually, I might be able to pull it up now. Let me take a look. How much rain we've actually seen here. I think it updates at 6 o'clock, so we should have that updated here now. And yeah, it has updated. So let's take a look at how much rain we've actually seen here in terms of the rainfall totals. And yeah, it's just an insane amount south of Newton right now. Rainfall is up to about 5 inches now of total rain now, just west of 130. So again, this is where we have a flash flood warning ongoing. This is where we have a severe thunderstorm warning ongoing as of right now, and we have one down to the south of this. So there's obviously a flash flooding ongoing with this storm right now. Moving down again, this is all moving slowly to the southeast. So we do have again a flash flood warning ongoing. There's at least been about 5 inches of rain in localized spots there south of Newton, as well as just to the west of St. Marie. So again, unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of rain out of this, which again, these areas really just don't need it all. So that might continue over the next several minutes as well. Let me back over here to this radar. And again, severe thunderstorm warning ongoing for another almost about another 40 minutes now. Again, damaging winds up to 60, as well as maybe the potential for $half sized hail does exist. We may get a new warning as well near Sumner, as well as Bridgeport. Little hail core there along Highway 50. That's also moving off to the southeast pretty slowly. We have again headache-sized hail is reported in Olney, and back down here to the south near the radar site, 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds, $half sized hail possible down this direction up until 6:30 is when that warning does expire. By the way, thank you Jackson, Deanna, as well as Mary and Almond for subscribing. Appreciate it. Yes, there is a tornado possible label on one of the storms. I'm going to go back over to that in just a second. Again, severe thunderstorm watch ongoing until 10 o'clock Central. Otherwise, 11 o'clock Eastern for those in southwestern Ohio. Northern Kentucky, as well as southern Indiana, is still ongoing, as I mentioned before, in Illinois. And obviously, there's an outflow boundary ongoing. You can kind of see the outflow boundary here. It's very well defined here. More storms maybe even fire up in this area, too, near Flora, and maybe even just off to the west of that. Flora, I should say, not Flora. But that's moving off again to the southeast. Let's go back over to the tornado possible storm. Take a look at this storm again. Very strong inflow, pretty decent hook here. Might get a tornado warning at some point. Let me take a look at this. So we probably have a tornado on the ground right now. I'm not mistaken. We might. The correlation coefficient is picking up a little bit of something here. Along with that, it is a fairly strong velocities here. Let me go over to radar scope and take a look. Yeah, this is not tornado warned right now, but the rotation is fairly tight here. It is very tight, actually. We very well possibly have a tornado here. So, very strong, I mean, this is a very strong area of rotation right now. That's not a tornado warning, but there's very strong rotation here. Here's a correlation coefficient view. There's a little bit of green popping up there. Now, that doesn't always mean there's a tornado. There might just be hail or something like that kind of overlapping here, but that is a very strong area of rotation right now. That is currently in eastern Ohio, moving off to the east. That is very strong rotation. We very well might get a tornado warning here. I'm really surprised there's no warning here, but that is a very tight area of rotation. Again, south of Highway 40, moving off to the east. So our area of rotation, very tight. Let me turn my light real quick. There, back. All right. Yeah, I'm really surprised we don't have a tornado warning on this. Next radar update should be coming in, by the way, in actually right about now. So we'll have an update on the velocities and whatnot. Rotation's now over here. Look at the radar. Go over to the correlation coefficient. It's showing that we have debris here. And here's a look at the live radar. I'm assuming we have a tornado on the ground right now here near the border now of Pennsylvania and Ohio. Take a look at the radar scope again. I mean, this looks clear as day in my opinion. Radar scope hasn't even updated yet. Let me go back over to the base velocities again. That's where a tornado is probably on the ground here. I'm really shocked there's no tornado warning on this. The correlation coefficient though is definitely picking up on possibly some sort of debris here. And here's a look at the live radar as of right now. I mean, there has to be a tornado here, right? I'm still really shocked there's no tornado warning. I'm trying to get an update on radar scope too. I want to make sure that, again, this software does have some glitches here and there, but it looks clear as day that there's a tornado here ongoing. Yeah, I'm almost betting 100% that there's a tornado on the ground here. Again, seek shelter immediately away from windows if you're in this ongoing, at least, area currently west of Bethel Park. I mean, it looks to be very clear as day that there's ongoing tornado here. Again, here's your rotation as of right now. That is currently on the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania. Again, moving off to the east. And then again, back over to the correlation coefficient, it's clearly picking up on some debris here. And we now have a tornado warning. There you go. So tornado warning is now ongoing. It looks to be almost confirmed at this point that we have a tornado on the ground right now. But there's an ongoing tornado warning, again, going until 6:45 Central Time, 7:45 Eastern. I know this area is in Eastern Time. But again, brand new tornado warning. Seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. I'm kind of surprised. I think this is pretty much at this point confirmed by radar, but we definitely have very strong rotation here. This looks to be a tornado on the ground, currently on the, again, Pennsylvania-Ohio border. So, again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Again, correlation coefficient is still picking up on possibly some debris here. Again, that may be a little bit, skirred with possibly some, hail or something like that, but definitely can't rule out that we have a tornado right now ongoing. Let me go back over to the velocities. As I mentioned before, we may also have a tornado right now on the ground, currently in western Pennsylvania, moving off to the east. Yeah, I was really shocked. I'm not going to lie. There should have been a tornado warning well before that, but I really do think there's a tornado on the ground too right now. Again, this is northwest of West Findlay. So just off to the northwest of Findlay, or west of Findlay, that's where we have this ongoing warning. And also south of West Alexander. So again, most likely a tornado on the ground right now, moving off to the east. And here's the latest radar update. So it looks like the rotation may have broadened a little bit on the latest scan. Here's a look at the storm still. Rotation is currently centered right about here. We'll take a look at the correlation coefficient, and not nearly as pronounced now, so that might be good news, but we'll still have to watch this still pretty closely. There very well may have been a tornado briefly on the ground here. Let me go over to Twitter. Take a look. But that looked to definitely be a tornado there a moment ago. But we very well, again, if you're still in this warning, still stay in shelter. We might see us re-strengthen again. This storm's been rotating for a while. I believe this is actually the storm from earlier that may have been tornado warned back in Ohio like a couple of hours ago. Let me take a look at Twitter. Let's see. Yeah, so as of right now, again, there very well may have been, if not, there was a tornado on the ground, again, off to the northwest of West Findlay. Again, it's unconfirmed. The rotation was very strong. Let me take a look at the warning details here. I'm not sure if it says anything on here. No, it doesn't. So, again, tornado warning is going to be ongoing at least for the next, it looks like, half an hour. So, until 6:45 Central Time or 7:45 Eastern Time at this point. So, again, seek shelter immediately if you're anywhere near Bethel Park, Findlay, West or East Findlay as well. Waynesburg as well in the path of this. That is going toward Highway 19. Over the next several minutes, again, your area rotation is currently centered, most likely rain-wrapped there just now in West Pennsylvania. It's just crossed over from Ohio into West Pennsylvania. And by the way, we do have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. We still have 1 tornado warning, so just for reference. But yeah, it looked like there was probably a tornado there briefly, so. Yeah, the correlation coefficient had a pretty big drop, but that might just be the rain down below it. It does kind of get, it's kind of a weird thing, but it does happen a lot of the time with some of these radar scans. I'll kind of show you here in the next scan because we do have our next radar update coming in here in a second, but this one, kind of what it looks like right now. There's a lot of a mess down here, basically. This is typical. That happens a lot of the time with storms, especially from the other radar angle. When we're looking at a radar above the storm, it sometimes does that, but it's nothing to be concerned about in that regard. Again, the rotation as of right now is actually kind of centered right about there. If we go back to the live radar and kind of match up with the correlation coefficient, again, it kind of shows something, but it's not very defined, so it's kind of hard to determine if we still have a tornado right now. Let's go back over to the latest radar update. Let's take a look at the velocities. And it looks like the rotation has been fizzling out on the latest scan, which is, again, very good news. The rotation is kind of, it's kind of right here, it looks like right now, west of 231. Again, there's the live radar. Let's go over to the correlation coefficient. Take a look. It shows some stuff, but I can't really, again, it's a lot of a mess. It's primarily from a lot of this being down here in the west of 231. Not a whole lot at this given time in terms of anything defined in terms of there being a tornado on the ground. But we very well, again, still have some rotation there. It's broadened out a bit on the latest scans. It could very well recycle, though, as it moves off to the east. We'll have to watch that still very closely. This storm, again, has had it's been very impressive for really the last 30 to 45 minutes. It has been rotating for a while. This is, again, the first tornado warning with this cell so far. So we'll have to watch it closely. Again, there very well may have been a tornado, though, west of Findlay not too long ago. Again, there looked like there was definitely a radar confirmed tornado, but we'll have to watch it again very closely as it moves off to the east southeast. Again, this is currently in southwestern Pennsylvania. Thank you, Jim, as well as Neil, for subscribing, by the way. Appreciate it. Storm up near Tennessee, expected hit Georgia. I'll take a look for you real quick, but I'm not entirely sure. I'll take a look at my phone. Actually, the radar site near Atlanta is actually out right now. I don't see any storms in Tennessee right now. Jackson. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Welcome back. Middletown, Ohio. I think you're fine tonight. I'm not entirely sure where that is. I'm not gonna lie. I think that might be up here somewhere, but if it's down here in southwestern Ohio, definitely make sure you're aware tonight. Primarily anywhere down near Cincinnati is really the only area where I'm expecting any sort of severe weather in Ohio. But regardless, if you're up in, I think Middletown, if I'm not mistaken, is back up in northeastern Ohio or central Ohio, those areas will not see severe weather tonight. By the way, we do have a report coming in over in Braddock. However you say that name, Braddock, over in Washington County, Pennsylvania. This is a new report of public reported downed trees and damage to homes in Spring Valley Drive. That's just south of Washington. That's from 5:40, from about 40 minutes ago. So, again, that is a new report that we have coming in over that direction at this given time of at least downed trees and damage to homes. So most likely from the trees, whatnot, and damage from that sort of stuff. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, for Brownsville, Uniontown, Masontown, Republic, all included for damaging winds up to 60, as well as quarter-sized hail. So that is a brand new warning that we have over that direction as well. Let's go back over here. By the way, we do have a new severe thunderstorm watch over in Nebraska. This has finally been put on the screen here, but this goes until 1 a.m. Central. We'll not be live for this entire thing, but over in North Platte, Grand Island, and whatnot, again, damaging winds up to 70, head-egg-sized hail, and an isolated brief or weak spin-up possible, but I wouldn't expect much in terms of a tornado threat tonight over in Nebraska. That's our latest severe thunderstorm watch over that direction. Thank you, David, by the way, for subscribing. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm near Dayton, Ohio. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, Dayton, Ohio, that area, probably not going to see much. If you see anything, I'm mostly just concerned about damaging winds. That's kind of just off to the north, I think, of the watch, but... apparently we have a tornado possibly in Harrison County. Where's Harrison County? Looks like there may have been a tornado earlier over in Harrison County, though. I think that's Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look where this is. There may have been a tornado earlier over in Harrison County. That's west of Louisville. I'm going to retweet it to our Twitter, so make sure you go check it out if you want to check it out on our Twitter page. Again, Twitter's linked in the description below, but there may have been a brief tornado over that direction. It's quite interesting. I'm not sure how long ago that was, but that was something that also happened possibly earlier. Sounds good, Gabe. Appreciate you tuning in. South Carolina and storms, not really. I don't think much tonight. If you see anything, main threats can be damaging winds up to 60. Otherwise, mostly just rain and maybe a couple of, strong storms. Same goes for North Carolina. All right, let's go back over to the velocities on this storm. As I mentioned before, this likely did have a tornado on the ground at one point. Looks like it's trying to recycle actually right now. So there's your rotation as of right now near basically 231. New area of rotation. That is probably where we're going to possibly see a tornado later on if it's able to redevelop. Again, here's your inflow going to the storm. There's your hook as of right now. Again, area of rotation likely to be located right about there. Here's a look at the velocities. And this is the latest radar update. We have now a new area of rotation now developing south of 231. So it is in the recycling stages now, moving down to the southeast. So we'll have to watch the storm pretty closely. Again, this will be going towards Waynesburg over the next 20 minutes or so. So again, if you're Waynesburg, Bethel Park, if you're up in northern Bethel Park, you're probably fine. If you're down in southern Bethel Park, stay in shelter. Again, the main area of rotation currently is going towards Waynesburg as of right now. So it is going down to the southeast at this given time. Yeah, velocities were much more impressive before on this storm for sure. Let me back over to Discord. Again, if you have any photos, videos, anything like that, join our Discord server. It's linked in the description below. Oh, it was actually in Ohio. Harrison County, Ohio. I didn't realize there's a Harrison County in Ohio, too. So there was possibly a brief tornado. That's actually really where that tornado warning was earlier. That's southeast of New Philadelphia, and that was where maybe a brief tornado happened. That was off to the northwest of Wheeling. I believe that's in West Virginia. So, but yeah, basically there might have been a brief tornado earlier in eastern Ohio. So, again, that video is on our Twitter in the description below. But that is interesting. I did not realize that. It's kind of interesting. There's a severe thunderstorm watch that's ongoing in Nebraska, but there's nothing on the Storm Prediction Center website even saying that. Kind of crazy. I don't know if they just didn't properly update it or something like that. All right, again, tornado warning still ongoing. This is currently near Bethel Park going towards Waynesburg. Again, there's already been damage reported, not with this storm, but from a different one, of downed trees and as well as damage to homes up in Spring Valley Drive. So that's near Washington. Again, we have our ongoing tornado warning. This is, again, possibly already produced a tornado. This had very strong and very tight rotation, likely a tornado briefly back off to the west of Findlay. The area where the tightest rotation happened was kind of south of Valley Grove. So we may have had a tornado on the ground there for at least a couple of minutes. As of this given time, the storm is currently recycling, so we'll have to watch it still pretty closely as it moves off to the east-southeast. We're getting our next radar update right now. Again, this storm's probably recycling right now, so we may see some sort of tornado again in the near future if it's able to recycle. It is discreet, so has that possibility of maybe producing a tornado down the road. Next radar update can be coming in actually right now. Here's look the storm as of right now. And it looks like really our main supercell is actually back out here now. It's kind of redeveloping, it looks like, almost here near 18. So that's where our hail threat may be in play. That's possibly some quarter-sized hail. Back over to the velocities. This is our latest radar update on the velocities. The rotation is way back out here, which I don't think is much rotation. If you kind of take a look here at the storm, not a whole lot of rotation at this point. It might redevelop though. I mean, the storm is kind of already ending back out here to the west where that first possible tornado happened. Now we have a new area with this storm kind of trying to redevelop itself out in front of it near Waynesburg. So this will definitely be a storm to watch as it moves down to the east-southeast. But yeah, definitely very interesting. Let me go back over to see if we have this tornado warning still ongoing. The warning is still ongoing up until 6:45 Central or 7:45 Eastern. Definitely a very interesting storm, though, to say the least. Yeah, overall, I mean, we're definitely looking at rotation going down that direction. But again, tornado warning until 6:45 Central. Roblox, it got canceled. That tornado warning specifically got canceled. That storm was weakening. Hey, Texie, how you doing? Welcome back. Hey, Tim, stay safe. Make sure if you have any updates, keep me posted. Stay safe over that direction. That storm is going right toward you, actually. It's going to be probably going bullseye to Waynesburg. Thank you, Nelly, by the way, for subscribing. Appreciate it. Again, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We're only 100 likes from 500, by the way, so hit the like button as well. But if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. We are currently actually 99 subscribers from 14,500. I would appreciate the subscribe button. When do you think Toronto will get anything? I have no clue. I don't do Canada weather, so. Storm is currently going about 30 miles per hour. I'll actually put a track on it, give you an idea of where it's heading. Here's like the track as of right now. So, again, add an hour for those over in Eastern time, which this is everyone in this area. You got to add an hour because, again, we're in Central time right now. But 7:38 for Waynesburg. 7:41 for Morrisville, 7:52 for Rice Landing, as well as 7:57 for Carmichaels, about 7:57 for Fairdale, around 8:06 for Masontown, Point Marion, right around 8:15, Smithville, about 8:18, Fairchance, 8:23, Hopewood, right around 8:24, and then Friendsville right around 9:04. So that's your timing on this storm. As I mentioned before, we might see this recycle again. There very well may have been a tornado already on the ground with this earlier. At this given time, it's kind of in a recycling stage. So again, we'll have to watch this very closely over the next several minutes as it moves down to the east-southeast. Oh, sorry, the state command is not updated, by the way. We're currently in southwest Pennsylvania. We're really covering the Midwest and Ohio Valley today, as well as Nebraska. I do have to update the state command. Or really just saying state in chat. Update that real quick. All right, I updated it. Sorry. I'm not feeling the best. I'm really congested more than anything right now. Will Colorado heat be considered severe weather? No, heat is not considered severe weather. It's definitely not. I think the warning will expand a little bit. We'll see. It's in a recycling stage, so there's definitely a possibility that we see this recycle a little bit. I mean, the overall winds are definitely more of a concern. This is, again, where the rotation's kind of ongoing, but it's not really where, you know, we would see a tornado with this specific storm. But definitely not out of the question we see this recycle. Again, the main storm now, really where the supercell is currently ongoing, is here. That's where we have our hail threat, just off to the west-northwest, basically now, Waynesburg. So it may recycle. It might, you know, become something that we see maybe a tornado down the road with, but at this given time, it's not really much of a concern for the short term. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I have some distractions in the background. All right. Let's go back over here. Again, we have currently 1 tornado warning. We currently have 9 severe thunderstorm warnings, by the way. I actually haven't updated that count yet. Oops, I just did that again. 9 right now. I'll be right back. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, I'm back. When you have people, little kids running around your house, it's crazy. All right. Sorry about that. Kevin, I'm really not feeling better. It's just I'm congested. I don't have a fever though, which is good news. All right. I need a drink of water real quick. Thank you, Deborah, by the way, for subscribing. I appreciate it. All right. Again, we have 1 tornado warning. We still have 7. Actually, we're down to 7 severe thunderstorm warnings. I believe 2 just expired because it's now 6:30 Central Time. Again, 1 severe thunderstorm warning ongoing for those near Republic and Uniontown. Fair chance, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size tail. I don't believe there's much rotation on this cell. Take a look at it real quick. And there's actually a little bit, it's very broad though. I mean, nothing to really be concerned about right now, but definitely a little bit of very broad rotation. Again, the tornado warning is still ongoing just off to the west-northwest of Waynesburg. It's moving east-southeast at about 30 miles per hour. Again, Waynesburg likely going to be hit within the next, I would say, 3 to 4 minutes. So again, if you're in Waynesburg, get to your safe place, away from windows, lowest floor possible. Definitely a dangerous storm right now heading down to the east-southeast. Texas, yeah, basically. This is currently west and southwest portions of Pennsylvania, where we're at. Hey, Wap, how you doing? Welcome back. I have no clue, Kevin. I couldn't tell you what it is. It's definitely not the flu, though. I've had this illness several times. I'm just congested more than anything right now. Let's go back down here real quick to Indiana. 60-mile-per-hour winds, $half size tail still ongoing over near Fort Branch and Owensville. Again, this is near the radar site. This storm is again heading down to the south with an outflow boundary. So again, potential for damaging winds up to 60 as well as $half size tail with that storm. Again, flash flood warning is still ongoing. We've seen as much as 6 inches of rain now here near 1:30 over just the last 4 hours or so. So those just south of noon and west of St. Marie, the highest rainfall totals were in this area around 5 inches at about 6 o'clock Central Time. It may be as high as 5 inches, excuse me. It might be as high as 6 inches now, though, over those directions near 1:30. And again, that storm is also severe. We have a few other severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. We're primarily going to be focusing on the tornado warning that we have ongoing as of right now. We'll get to the other storms, though, pretty soon. We do definitely have a hail core here, though. Quarter-sized hail, definitely not out of the question here near 18 and just off to the west-northwest of Waynesburg, heading down again to the east-southeast. Yeah, the overall storm, it's been pretty impressive. I mean, this cell, again, possibly had a radar indicator or at least confirmed tornado earlier. I would say about 15, 20 minutes ago, really when the tornado warning got issued. So it was right around 6:05, maybe 6:10, that range, when we may have had a tornado on the ground for a few minutes. But the tornado warning got issued right after that. So there may have been a tornado on the ground. Let's go back over to the velocity. So as of right now, and the rotation seems to be pretty strong back here. It's quite interesting. It's way back here. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we'll go over to the correlation coefficient here. It's not indicating anything on the ground, but the rotation seems to be super tight here on the velocities on the latest scan. You can see it here. But the correlation coefficient's not showing anything, which again probably means that there's no tornado at this given time. It's kind of back on that hook though here, west and just down to the southwest of 18. So definitely a storm to still watch very closely. Again, it is moving down towards Waynesburg right now. No problem, Sheila. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, again, we cover everywhere in the United States. So again, if you're just tuning in, need somebody to cover the most honest weather here on YouTube, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Yeah, this is currently going towards Waynesburg. Let's go over to the hail radar as well real quick. Again, I don't think we have a tornado on the ground right now, but there's definitely some strong rotation back there just off to the west of where the hail core is. So it's quite interesting. It's kind of on the back end here almost. Let me go over to the hail radar though. We'll take a look. Yeah, hail is not overly impressive. The radar's currently estimating right around maybe up to penny or dime-sized hail. Might be as high as nickel size now, but a little bit of a hail core there near 18. Definitely care a lot, maybe a little bit of quarter-sized hail, but overall hail threat seems to be pretty minimal with this storm right now. Again, main hail core right now, west-northwest of Waynesburg. That may grow a little bit, but as of right now, again, tornado warning is ongoing until 6:45 Central Time or 7:45 Eastern Time. That's kind of what we're looking at as of right now. Again, rotation is currently north of 21, moving off to the southeast. Once the second tornado season begin, there's a bit of a smaller tornado season in the fall. It's not really a tornado season, but there's sometimes a few more tornadoes during that time of the year. It's primarily for the central and southern plains, but it does happen a little bit more during like October, November timeframe. This is currently over in southwest Pennsylvania. That's where we're at us right now. And will Cincinnati, Ohio get any storm or tornadoes? Probably not. Overall threat in Ohio tonight for tornadoes is very low. That goes for really anywhere. So, but we've already had a few storms. We actually had one west of Cincinnati earlier that may have already had a tornado. So, there's obviously been a lot of storms ongoing so far today that have, produced the potential for a tornado. I think we've at least had 2 or 3 possible tornadoes today, but could be wrong. We don't have any confirmation. We've had some videos and stuff like that. There may have been like a couple of brief ones, but those all have to get surveyed tomorrow. This one specifically may have had a radar confirmed tornado, but again, it's the National Weather Service did not confirm that, but there may have been one back up here near the Pennsylvania-Ohio border. It's kind of back up here. That was west of Findlay and south of Valley Grove, where the tornado may have been on the ground there for maybe a few minutes. So again, we'll probably have more information on that tomorrow. Hey Wilson, how you doing? Welcome back. All right, let me go back over to the live radar. Let's go back over to the velocities. Here's like the velocity. So as I kind of mentioned before, main area of wind is back here. The rotation again, just kind of look at the velocities. Let's go over the correlation coefficient. And nothing's really indicated of a tornado being on the ground at this given time. There may be some sort of funnel or lowering, but it's kind of determined to that at this point. The overall rotation's on the back end of the storm, which again, not very common, but it does happen sometimes. It's again, more of an uncommon to even rare event that we're looking at right now, back over to the north, or really now west of Waynesburg. So again, velocities at this given time, not strong, but there's definitely some moderate rotation, I would say. Definitely something to still watch over the next several minutes as it moves off to the east. Again, Waynesburg's a little bit more populated, so again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Again, this storm's moving pretty quickly off to the east, about 30 miles per hour. Hey, Tori, how you doing? Welcome back. James, not a whole lot. I think we've had about 3 or 4 tornado warnings at this point, maybe a couple more than that. But more than anything, we may have already had a few confirmed tornadoes today, but they've, for the most part, been brief for a week. This is currently Pennsylvania, where the storm is. Kyler, I recommend Radar Scope or My Radar. Those are the 2 radars I like. Hey, Sniper, how you doing? Welcome back. Let me back over to this real quick. All right, be back. All right. Go back over to this. All right, let's take a look at the overall warnings. Again, we have 7 severe thunderstorm warnings. This is our 1 tornado warning, as mentioned before. Again, we'll be watching this one very closely. As it moves down to the east southeast, we have 19 flash flood warnings actually ongoing, 2 special marine warnings, and a few special weather statements, which are pretty typical. But as of right now, again, severe thunderstorm warning back out to the east of this. That's near Republic. Uniontown is actually getting hit by the storm now. Again, moving off to the east southeast. Again, damaging ones up to 60, maybe a little bit of quarter-sized hail right now. Currently ongoing, going down that direction. Again, this storm's had a rotation at times. Overall, rotation's not been that strong recently. More of a damaging wind threat more than anything, but definitely something to still watch out for pretty closely. The rotation on this storm, we just got our next radar update. Again, the rotation has seemingly been kind of strong here, but let's look the live radar reflectivity-wise. Let's go to the correlation coefficient. And again, it's not really showing anything defined in terms of debris. So I'm not thinking there's a tornado on the ground at this given time. Again, there may be one at some point down the road, but again, that's where our rotation is as of right now. That's kind of where it is. It's kind of on the back end. Again, it looks to be kind of oddly shaped, but that's where your hail core is now. That's again near 18. Waynesburg likely going to be hit within the next 5 minutes. Again, be in shelter if you're in Waynesburg right now. No reason to wait. As I mentioned before, we have severe thunderstorm warnings over in Illinois, Indiana. I believe we have again, severe thunderstorm watch ongoing over there in Nebraska, 1 ongoing in the Oklahoma Panhandle. We have 1 in New Mexico and 2 over in Arizona. So we still have a lot of warnings ongoing. We're going to primarily stay on this tornado warning though for now, and we'll kind of keep you updated with the latest on the other storms here pretty soon. And the warning is still ongoing. Again, it's still ongoing until 7:45 Eastern time. So another 7 minutes. We may get a new tornado warning on this as well. So we'll see. Main threat over in Nebraska, anywhere in Nebraska, is damaging winds and hail tonight. Tornado threat is extremely low to 0. Let's take a look at the radar. Here's a look at the velocities. Rotation's not really strong here. Somebody said there's a correlation coefficient drop. That's not the correlation coefficient. Here it is. There's a little bit of something here. Let's kind of depict it a little bit, though. That's where the rotation is. There might be a tornado possibly again. It's kind of harder to say though. Let's go back to the correlation coefficient. Let's just kind of match it up here. That's where the possible debris is. Now again, there might be some hail being kind of inflicted with this correlation, kind of depiction here. Again, it's very small too, so it's really hard to determine in that regard. But if we go over to the, again, velocities, the main rotation is kind of right here. And if we go over to the reflectivity, correlation coefficient, it's kind of hard to determine. Again, I can't confirm that there's a tornado right now. All I got to say is if you're in this warning, just make sure you're in shelter. But again, it's very hard to determine in that regard because, again, it's rotating. But the overall hail core may also be inflicting on it. The radar site's off to the north of where we're looking right now. We do have a brand new tornado warning that's just been issued for Uniontown. So we are now up to 2 tornado warnings. Uniontown now has a tornado warning. This going toward Ohio Pyel, if I'm saying that right, as well as near Fair Chance is included in this tornado warning. This is a brand new warning. Rotation's been broad for a while. As of right now, it's still broad, but it very well may strengthen as it heads off to the east. Again, that is near Uniontown, Oliver, as well as Hopewood right now, or Hopwood. Again, it's moving off to the east-southeast. Seek shelter immediately away from windows, the lowest floor possible. Again, if you're in any of these areas, we now have another brand new tornado warning currently moving down to the east-southeast. That is, again, Eastern Republic. And again, Confluence will be possibly in the track of this as well later on. But again, Uniontown's more of a short-term threat at this point with this cell. But rotation's currently near Highway 40 and as well as near 43 and 119 near Uniontown and Hopwood. Moving down to the southeast as of right now. Again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. We, again, have 2 tornado warnings now ongoing. Both of them now in Pennsylvania. This is another look at it again, south of 18. Let's go back over to this radar. Again, the radar just updated. We'll take a look at the correlation coefficient and see if it's showing anything. It's not really showing much in this latest scan. So again, it's very hard to determine if we have anything with this storm in terms of an ongoing tornado threat, but we do have a tornado warning ongoing for both of these cells. So again, if you're in any of these warnings, the one near Waynesburg or the brand new one for Uniontown, again, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. This warning goes until 8:15 Eastern time. So that's just the new one that we have ongoing now. Again, both of these warnings are in Pennsylvania. But yeah, this is definitely impressive what we have ongoing right now. This is more warnings actually than I thought there would be tonight in terms of tornado warnings. Yeah, the storm currently that's going towards Morrisville as well as Waynesburg has been pretty impressive. I mean, we're still looking at pretty impressive rotation on that one too. Back over the correlation coefficient, take a look on the radar here. There may be, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, but there may still be there might also be a tornado over here. It's just so difficult to tell just due to the fact that the radar sets back off to the north and really where the storm is right now. The velocities have been very impressive here. I mean, this is your tight rotation basically right there. Back over to the correlation coefficient though, it's not showing much. So, I mean, there might be something there. Again, it's hard to determine it by radar at this given time, but we may have a tornado on the ground here west of Waynesburg. It's very difficult to tell. Again, we'll keep you updated. If we have any new updates on that one, we'll definitely keep you updated the latest on that. But again, we have 2 tornado warnings ongoing, both in southwest Pennsylvania. But again, I don't think have any reports yet on that storm. And also, if there's a an ongoing, or if there's a new tornado warning, it would likely be issued within the next couple of minutes, so we may get a new one. And tornado warning does include about a 25,000 person population over in Waynesburg, basically that entire warning. We also have this warning for Uniontown. I'll take a look and see how many people are in this one, which I believe might be a bit more. I think Uniontown's a bit more populated over here. Apparently, we're getting some reports in Uniontown of some structural damage, but I don't think it's significant. So, from what we're seeing at this point, it does not look like there's a tornado on the ground right now with this storm. Rotation's currently right now over Uniontown, but it is still broad. It's not strong. But at this given time, it looks like maybe a little bit of like tree damage, some small tree damage, some shingles. That seems like what we have with the latest warnings in that area. So this area is a population of 56,000. So again, the other one's 23,000, 56,000, both including a lot of people as of right now. All right, let me back over here. We might get a new tornado warning here pretty shortly. We will see. Again, this is near Waynesburg. Rotation not nearly as tight in the latest scan. Correlation coefficient obviously is not going to pick up on much. Rotation still okay. We got a new tornado warning. We actually have a confirmed and observed tornado. So we have a tornado on the ground currently in going towards Waynesburg. So this is the latest report. There was tight rotation there. Correlation coefficient again was not picking up on much. But we have a tornado on the ground currently heading down to the southeast. Again, this is an ongoing observed tornado off to the west of Waynesburg. So again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Our ongoing likely, where if there were to be a tornado still on the ground, is likely right about here. So again, this is an observed tornado. I'm not entirely sure the specific details on that observed tornado. If it's a large one, if it's a small one, whatnot, it's probably going to be on the smaller end, I would assume. But we do have an observed tornado here near Waynesburg, moving down to the southeast. We'll take a look if we have any details on the observed tornado portion of it. Evan, if you have any details, by the way, let me know if you see anything. Again, this is an observed tornado, though. Again, it's on the ground, as from what we know right now, just west of Waynesburg. Moving down to the southeast. Try to see if we have any details, though, on this tornado on the ground. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything at this given time in terms of at least a report on there being a... Obviously, there's a tornado on the ground. We know that, but we don't have any details on the specifics on it. Let's go back over to the velocities. Again, if there were to be a tornado, it's west of Waynesburg. That's without a doubt. That's where our area of rotation is. Again, here's your hook as of right now. Inflow going to the storm. Again, tornado would likely be located in this little notch here. Again, it's going to be most likely... It's not going to be rain wrapped unless you're on the west end of this, but obviously the ongoing tornado is likely just off to the north of 21. Again, it's moving down to the southeast. Again, observed tornado currently moving down to the southeast, west of Waynesburg. Is this a radar confirmed or is it observed? It says observed on here. It's actually, okay, so this is radar confirmed. There's a difference there. So we actually don't have anything observed. It's actually confirmed by radar. Everything on Twitter, I was also saying observed tornado. So at this point, it's radar confirmed tornado, which means, again, there was very tight rotation previously north of 21. Looked like there was probably something on the ground there. So we obviously have, at least at this point, radar confirmed tornado. So again, a little bit of a difference there. But again, Waynesburg's going to get the track of this over the next several minutes. And if you're in Waynesburg, seek shelter away from windows and lowest floor possible. My radar is glitching out, which is just fantastic. Let's go ahead and refresh this real quick. I mean, this is a very nasty looking storm. As I mentioned before, here's your hook as of right now. Inflow going into the storm. And if there would be a tornado, it's likely located right about there, north of 21. So we've had possibly had as many as 2 tornadoes with this already. We also had another area where there might have been a tornado back out in far western Pennsylvania near the Ohio and Pennsylvania border before. So I don't think this will become a PDS. I don't think this is going to be a PDS situation. Yeah, it does say observed. Again, it's radar confirmed tornado. So the rotation was very strong, but at this point, it seems as if it was at least observed to this, or excuse me, radar confirmed. Let's take a look at the latest radar scan. Might still have a tornado on the ground here. It's showing a little bit of a spike there. Let's go over to the correlation coefficient. Again, it's not showing a whole lot in the correlation coefficient. The latest scan rotation seems to be strongest though, right about there where my black circle is, north of 18. Again, this is a confirmed tornado if you're just tuning in. On the ground, potentially still. Again, moving off towards potentially Waynesburg over the next several minutes. Again, if you're in Waynesburg, get to your safe place right now. I believe the population in this area, again, is around 25,000, if I'm not mistaken. That's where our rotation is as of right now. Again, it's currently moving down to the southeast. Very impressive storm, as I mentioned before. Again, the tornado is nowhere down here. It is well back up here into this little hook back here. And it is a very interesting looking storm. You don't typically see storms that look like this. Very, very interesting. I heard about the tornado warning, Roblox. I don't think there was a confirmed tornado though, unless I'm mistaken. Might have been one. I think it was back on Thursday, wasn't it? How far east will this move? I mean, Waynesburg might be on the track of this, but it's kind of going down to the southeast more than anything right now. Hey, Shane, how you doing? Welcome back. Michigan, yes, they did have a tornado warning earlier. I'm aware of that. I don't think there's a tornado, though, at the time. Here's like the latest scan. Let's take a look at the velocities. Should get a new update. Might be becoming a bit more rain-wrapped in terms of that rotation. Velocities have not yet updated, but we'll go back over to the reflectivity for now. And here's our latest update on the reflectivity. Again, if there were to be a tornado likely located somewhere in here, it is seemingly becoming a bit more rain-wrapped here near Waynesburg, if there is something still ongoing. Let's go over to the velocities. Here's the latest update. Still have a decent amount of rotation here back over near 21. All right, let's compare where that rotation is. It's basically, for the most part, right about there. We'll take a look at the correlation coefficient. There might be something still on the ground. It's very difficult to tell, as mentioned before, with this sort of cell. I'm going to try to stay here on the velocities, though. Again, area of rotation currently seemingly right there near 21. And let's see, radar confirmed tornado at this point. That's where our possible tornado is still on the ground, west of Morrisville, west of Waynesburg, and west of Highway 19. Again, moving down to the southeast. Again, it is most likely now rain-wrapped, as we have a little bit of rain kind of coming around that inflow at this point. If you're just tuning in, by the way, Uniontown is still under a tornado warning just off to the east of this, not far from it at all. Rotation seems to be pretty broad still, but we'll keep an eye on that one as well pretty closely as it moves off to the east. Main danger at this point is this one right now west of Waynesburg, which again is a radar confirmed tornado, which we've had possibly had as many as 2 tornadoes already with this cell. Yeah, it's basically a donut, if you want to call it that. It's basically a donut looking storm here. Just watching the traffic cam on Waynesburg, and I just went blank. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. There's a lot of rain too, which probably would explain why. I would look at traffic cams, but I don't think we have really any outside of the storm. Let's take a look real quick. Let's see. Doesn't look like we have much in terms of traffic cams there, but yeah, honestly, if there's any traffic cams there, they're probably going to be blanked out with all the rain here. But we do have a new radar update. Let's take a look at the velocities again. Should be coming in here in a second. Just is not the latest radar update. It's not matched up with the last one. Back over to the live radar, and here's a look at the tornado warning. There we go. So velocities have not updated, but here's the latest look at the radar. So again, if there's a tornado, it'll be likely located here near 21. Again, there's still an observed or radar confirmed tornado. That's what we're looking at as of right now. Uniontown still has a tornado warning. Yes. Yes, this is in Pennsylvania. Let me take a look. Again, the tornado warning back up to the east does not have nearly as much rotation as this one. I mean, this one's definitely more impressive. There's a new warning, by the way, down near Evansville. That's in southern Indiana. That's damaging winds around 60 to 70. Potential for maybe a little bit of large hail as well. Again, we're going to primarily be focusing on the tornado warnings, though. All right, let me go back over here. Take a look at Twitter. Yeah, we still have no photos on this storm at this point. I'll take a look at Waynesburg and see if we have any new photos coming out or anything like that on this tornado warning cell. Gonna say observed / radar confirmed tornado. It seems like it's radar confirmed. That's what the note said. I mean, even on their Twitter page it says observed, but that might be what they use for both tags. Again, this is a confirmed tornado just off to the west-southwest of Waynesburg, still possibly ongoing. If it's not ongoing, it may redevelop because, again, it's recycling right now. That's what it looked like on the latest radar scan. If we go back to the velocities, here's like the rotation. Looks like it's trying to recycle again, and it's recycled a few times at this point. We had a tornado possibly about 50 minutes ago. We had one recently about 5 minutes ago. We may see another one within the next 10 to 15 minutes. It very well may recycle. This is a storm that's been very potent at this point, moving down to the southeast. Let me go back over to the velocities again. We have I think our next radar update just came in, actually, so we can take a look. This is the 652.55. Okay, so this is the latest radar update. And velocities not nearly as impressive on the latest scan, which might be a little bit of good news. Again, our rotation is currently near 21. So at this given time, that's where our rotation is. It's near 21. Not nearly as strong as before. Again, it very well may recycle, though. We've seen this with this storm already where it's recycled. So it very well may produce a tornado down the road, really in the short term, possibly within the next 10 to 15 minutes. So we're going to keep you updated with the latest on it as it moves down to that direction. A lot of the rain with this as well, a lot of heavy rain, without a doubt, which is probably going to keep it from being, observed to any more extent than it already has been. There's also high winds. The winds could be as high as 70, by the way, with this storm. Gonna say radar confirmed tornado so far. We're probably gonna get a next radar update or tornado warned update here in a second, so we'll keep you updated with that. Louisville, Kentucky. You might see something tonight. If you see anything, it's probably going to be damaging winds over that direction. Let me take a look real quick. Pretty sure, I don't know if you're on the watch, but if you see anything, it's probably going to be damaging winds. Here's the latest radar update. So again, a lot of rain-wrapped area here going, as I mentioned before. Here's your hail core as of right now. Really not much of a concern. It's more of the tornado threat right now. Again, area of rotation is currently embedded in that little area of an inflow. Here's a look at the velocities as of right now. It's trying to re-strengthen again here near 21. Again, we could very well see another tornado drop at any point. So that's kind of where we're at as of right now. Is Evan here? I think so. You're gonna watch? Yeah, if you're in Louisville, I'm pretty sure Louisville was included in that. But yeah, damaging winds being my main concern over that direction. Can't rule out a little bit of isolated large hail, but damaging winds will definitely be the main threat tonight, even though we have already had at least 5 or 6 tornado warnings tonight. And obviously this one has already had at least 2 tornadoes with it. I would at least say there was probably 2 with this one. There was very likely a tornado confirmed back up there in western Pennsylvania and eastern Ohio. By the way, for those that were tuning in on last Wednesday, I believe it was, does anybody have a count on how many tornadoes we actually had confirmed? I don't know if the National Weather Service did a survey on that. I'm not sure if anybody had a number that was confirmed on that one. There was a lot of tornadoes on that day, too. All right, let me back over here again. We have 6 severe thunderstorm warnings. We currently have 2 tornado warnings. I'm going to take a look at the latest updates on both of these. See if we have any new updates coming in here. The rotation is still ongoing with this storm near Morrisville. The warning down near Uniontown is still ongoing as well. Rotation has been pretty broad, so I would be surprised if we got a new tornado warning on that. Wouldn't be surprised if they do cancel that warning as well. Let's go over to the velocities again on this cell as of right now, and there's your rotation. I mean, it's still there southwest of Waynesburg. Possibility that we still have a tornado on the ground right now, moving down to the southeast. Let's go back over to the correlation coefficient. It's not picking up on much. There's still a little bit being picked up there, but I don't think that's necessarily the tornado. Yeah, that's not the tornado. So at this given time, I don't think there's a tornado on the ground as of now, but it very well, again, could redevelop at any time. The warning is still for a radar confirmed tornado, but looks like at this given time, it's not nearly as strong as before. We'll take a look and see if there's any new updates. And it's still radar confirmed at this point, but we might get a new update here in a second. An area of rotation currently southwest of Waynesburg, and it looks to be actually kind of getting wrapped up. The inflow looks like it got cut off as well, so that might be good news. We'll take a look at the velocities here in a second. Thank you, Ted, as well as Robert, for subscribing, by the way. Appreciate it. Yeah, there might have been like 9 or... I don't think there was a tornado possibility over there either, but Yeah, I didn't see a number. I was trying to look it up on Google too. I didn't see any news articles or anything on it, but I thought at least there may have been at least maybe 9. Really, honestly, I mean, there was at least 5 without a doubt, but I think there may have been as many as 9 to 10. I still have not seen the number though on that, so I don't know if anybody had an update on that one. You see the Uniontown storm? Yeah, this is the Uniontown storm. Again, it is tornado warned as well. Not confirmed, but it has had broad rotation. I have not seen anything beyond broad rotation, though, in that cell. At this point, again, it might drop a tornado later on. It could even in the short term. Again, if you're over near or east of Uniontown at this point, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. But at this given time, I have not seen much on that storm that would make me believe it's going to be producing a tornado, at least in the short term. Again, velocities on this storm has been a little bit more broad recently. It is still an ongoing tornado warning, regardless of it having still radar confirmed rotation or whatnot. We might get an update on that here pretty shortly, but again, this is a tornado that has had a tornado on the ground at least a couple of times, I think. So if you do have any reports, again, of there being a tornado with this storm, any pictures, videos, anything like that, feel free to tweet me on Twitter or go to our Discord server down below. Again, those are linked in the description below. Make sure to join our Discord. I'm actually going to link it in chat too. If you haven't already, join our Discord server if you have any photos, videos, anything like that. Link will be posted by Nightbot. Moxie, there's been at least a confirmed tornado with this storm in terms of a radar indicated. Radar confirmed, I should say. I believe the command's exclamation part rotation, Rye Guy. That will give me an idea of how to identify it. The link will be in the chat. It's how to identify a tornado or rotational radar. Link there from Night Chat, or Nightbot, I mean. I'll take a look at the velocities again. Do you have any new updates on this? Yeah, as of right now, again, rotation has not been overly strong in the latest couple of scans. Again, it might recycle as it moves down to the southeast. We'll have to wait and see. Again, tornado warning just back off to the east of that near Uniontown. We'll have to watch that one again pretty closely as well. Storm looks to be falling apart though a little bit. I mean, we're not seeing nearly as much of an organized area as we once saw with the storm that was just west of Waynesburg. So not nearly as potent as before, but we'll still watch it pretty closely over the next few scans. Again, I don't think we have a tornado on the ground anymore. We'll take a look at the warning update and see if we have any new updates on that at this point. There's definitely still some rotation there. It's just not nearly as strong. Yeah, this is not PDS, so it basically means we don't have a particularly dangerous situation ongoing, but we do have that potential that might be a tornado down with this storm still. But at this point, I don't think we have a tornado on the ground. We'll take a look at the next radar scan, see if there's still anything that I would be overly concerned about in the next couple of minutes, but we'll take a look if there's still something here. Next radar update here in about 10 to 15 seconds. Yeah, Katie, I definitely agree with you. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of light out there. The only problem with this storm is that there's a lot of rain with it, and it's likely rain wrapped if there is a tornado with it. So that's the only thing with this storm. Exclamation point rotation just shows you the video on our how to identify rotation. Paul, I'm still sick. I'm still congested more than anything, but I'm not doing nearly as bad as yesterday. I'm back over here to the warning details. Again, nothing's been updated on this. It's still an ongoing observed tornado, but I would assume that our rotation's kind of died down here. Let's take a look at the velocities here. Still some rotation back near 218. I mean, here's your rotation. It is rain wrapped. It's not nearly as pronounced or strong as before, but it's back here near 218, south of Waynesburg. So there's still a little bit of rotation there, not nearly as strong though as before. We'll still watch it pretty closely. Again, we do have another tornado warning just off to the east of this near Uniontown. That's moving down again off to the east and east-southeast. This storm is still ongoing actually for an observed tornado, and it's still a confirmed tornado. This warning is still ongoing till 8:15, so we still have a confirmed tornado with this south of Waynesburg. At this given time, they've just condensed the warning, which does mean that there's probably still something ongoing here. I mean, the rotation still seems to be pretty broad here, but it's near Morrisville, just south of Morrisville and south of Waynesburg. That's the area where there may still be a tornado on the ground here, moving down to the southeast. So, again, stay in shelter if you're in this warning. Going toward Highway 19 over the next several minutes. It is rain wrapped at this point, so you're not going to be able to see it, so stay in shelter. If there's still obviously a tornado with this, you do not want to try to go outside. It's definitely still a dangerous cell moving down to the southeast right now. It's currently southwest Pennsylvania, by the way. Thank you, Alan, by the way, for subscribing. Appreciate it. Daryl, I have no clue, but I don't really care. The states we're really looking at tonight is primarily Pennsylvania, I believe Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and Nebraska are our main states tonight that we're watching. And Nebraska is the upcoming threat. There's a severe thunderstorm watch that's been issued for Nebraska. Nebraska will be mainly the area that's going to have some storms over the next few hours that might produce some hail and damaging winds. But Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, main threats, damaging winds, large hail, isolated tornado. What's the population? I'll take a look real quick. Man, this storm's been really impressive. I'm not gonna lie. This has been a very impressive storm at this point. It is still an observed tornado, by the way. Population in this warning is 17,500. So that's what we have as right now. Again, tornado is still observed. It is still confirmed at this point from our latest update from the National Weather Service. So we do kind of have to go with that at this point. At this given time, again, it is still confirmed. It's still on the ground, as from what we know from the National Weather Service. There's 7 tornadoes. Is that a confirmed number from Colorado? Thanks, JD. I appreciate it. I'm glad you discovered my channel, by the way. I appreciate you tuning in. Most people that come to my channel love it, so. Over in Baham, Pennsylvania, tornado warning cell. But there might have been a tornado earlier or some sort of funnel cloud. I'm going to look at the video. And it looks like there was probably a tornado from earlier. It actually looked to be a pretty decent one over in West Pennsylvania, near Marshall County, West Virginia, and Washington County, Pennsylvania. A lot of words in that, but I just retweeted it on our Twitter. We were covering that storm earlier. Looked to be a confirmed tornado earlier, so go check out our Twitter. Link in the description. Looks like we may have had a tornado there. Very impressive, though. There's a lot of rotation with that cell from earlier. Again, we've already had at least 6 or 7 tornado warnings tonight. This is still an ongoing, possibly radar. It's radar confirmed tornado still. Rotation's not nearly as strong as before, but it very well may still have a tornado here. I mean, if you look at the correlation coefficient, it's not showing much, but I definitely can't rely. We still have something ongoing here. Upper level rotation still probably ongoing as well. We may see something drop as well at any given time. Might see a few brief tornadoes with this too. They might be kind of going up and down, you know, that sort of thing. So we very well might have that ongoing too with this cell. Again, it's definitely rain wrap though. Again, stay in shelter. Do not try to look outside your window because you are not going to be able to see a tornado with it being so rain wrapped at this point. Again, this is going toward Highway 19 at this point. That's our area of rotation. Well, the radar just updated, so I can't really circle that anymore. It's a little bit further down to the east. It's probably down here near 19, I would say. Let's go back over to the velocities and let's take a look. That's our area of rotation now. It seems to be broadening out at this point, but we'll have to watch it closely. Again, this tornado possibly already produced a tornado back at about 6 o'clock central, and there also may have been a tornado as recent as maybe really within the last few minutes, but there may have also been one around 6:45 central, so they very well may recycle. We've already seen, you know, big recycling stages with this one discrete cell at this point, so there may have been 7 in Colorado. I have no clue what the exact number was, though, in terms of tornadoes. Again, that was from the other day on Wednesday, I think. Roblox, there might. You never know. December's still way far away, though. By the way, I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. If you haven't already, hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you're new here. I would really appreciate it. It means the world to me. We are currently on the road we're only 76 away from 14,500. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. And again, I do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in tonight. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the chat. I'll try to get to them. And again, I am sick still, so I'm trying to get over an illness. Some congested, if you haven't already heard it from my voice. All right. Let me go back over to the velocities. This radar's been updating every minute, I think. So it's actually been very reliable at this point in terms of the radar. Again, rotation's not overly impressive, but the storm is trying to redevelop, it looks like. We do have a little bit of an inflow trying to redevelop, it looks like, here near Highway 19. It is definitely rain wrapped, though, where that rotation is near Highway 19 right now. So that's kind of what we're looking at as of right now, moving down to the southeast. Been personally through 7 tornadoes. Really? 7 tornadoes. That is insane. Awesome, Chromebook. Awesome. Was this expected today? No, bro. Honestly, the severe weather outlooks the last at least the last couple of weeks have not been really the most accurate. But honestly, it's kind of hard with the summer storms. Summer storms are not always nearly as easy to predict in terms of tornado threats and stuff like that. Mainly due to the fact they're not always with some sort of setup. Like, this is not with really much of a setup today. It's not really with like a defined trough or anything like that. It's kind of just individual cells at this point. It's kind of weird. They're not, the outlooks though have not been overly accurate the last couple of weeks from the Storm Prediction Center, but obviously you can't blame them by any means. At least they've been outlining the areas where there is severe weather. I believe they're included tonight, and at least a marginal threat. Yeah, Western Pennsylvania is in a marginal threat, but not for a tornado potential. But I mean, there are 2 tornado warnings ongoing. The one near Uniontown was just very broad rotation to begin with. This has really been an impressive cell, though. We do have some of these outlier storms that do develop, like this one, for example, that does have a tornado threat. They do occasionally happen, and these outlier storms do sometimes happen well outside of severe thunderstorm risked areas. So it's always good to have a way to receive warnings regardless, because these things can happen when you're not even included in a severe weather risk, because I mean, it just happens occasionally. It's not always going to be in your, your area, but looks like the rotation's been broadening out, I think, but it's definitely still a storm to watch. It may redevelop, but I do think it's starting to weaken a little bit here. But yeah, obviously for those that were tuning in I think it was last Wednesday, we had 11 or 12 tornado reports in Colorado alone within an hour. That was not expected by any means. It was all outflow driven. I mean, it was an insane event. Again, if you want to go back watching that, we have a whole live stream up. You can just watch the first like 30 minutes of it. It's insane. It's a really great little live stream to watch if you want to watch it. You can click, you don't have to click a link. You just go to my channel and it's the tornado outbreak coverage live stream, which is only about a week ago if you want to check that out. A lot of people have been rewatching that because it was just so insane. A lot of things happened. We have a lot of video coverage also on that tornado stormed as well, or those tornadoes. I mean, a lot of videos and stuff like that. It was crazy. National Weather Service of Pittsburgh on Twitter posted a video of the tornado. Did they? I bet I retweeted it. Let me take a look. May have retweeted what you're talking about. Maybe I didn't. Let me take a look at their Twitter. Oh yeah, they retweeted something. Yeah, that's what I posted on my Twitter. Or retweeted it. So yeah, we did have a possible. It looks to be very well a tornado over, at least very strong rotation over in very East Ohio and as well as Pennsylvania and West Pennsylvania. So yeah, if you want to take a look at that, again, the link is in the description below for our Twitter page. I did retweet it. That was a crazy looking rotation though. That was possibly a tornado as well. Been a crazy night to say the least so far. All right, let me take a look at the warning details. It's still, as of right now, a radar confirmed tornado. Again, it's heading down to the southeast. I don't think it's on the ground right now. I'm going to go back to the tornado warning tag for right now, just because I don't think we have a tornado on the ground right now, even though the warning is not updated. It is still observed on this end, but I don't think we have a tornado on the ground right now with this storm. But it definitely still some rotation, so still stay in shelter, away from windows, lowest floor possible. Definitely still a dangerous storm. Thanks, Ry Guy, by the way, appreciate it. So your comment. 7 on the ground last week, 15 total. Yeah, I'm just curious I'm just curious where the Colorado ones were, because I don't really know the exact number. I didn't see a single post on it. Hey DFW, welcome back. How you doing? Hey Frankie, how you doing, by the way? Welcome back. Tornado warning still ongoing for another 4 minutes, by the way, over in basically just west of Confluence. I'm surprised this warning's still ongoing. The rotation's been really not there at all. It's still broad. It's not really strengthened at all, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Again, if you're just west of Confluence, stay in shelter. Warning goes for another 4 minutes. Again, this is our one that we've had a confirmation by radar a couple of times now. That's produced a tornado. This given time, rotation's broad now. I would be surprised if we get a new tornado warning in either one. We may get new severe thunderstorm warnings, though, with tornado possibles. So, possibility at this point with these. Good to hear. Good to hear, DFW. Am I going live for the marginal risk on day 3? It's all to be determined. Since I haven't done many live streams recently, I probably will at least go live tomorrow evening. I may go live Wednesday, but Wednesdays are really probably not going to happen unless there's something I really have to go live for. I think I'll probably go live tomorrow, though. The severe weather risk tomorrow is it's mainly across Minnesota. There's also a threat down in Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, eastern Missouri. Marginal threat across areas like Minnesota, northeastern North Dakota, northern Wisconsin as well. Wisconsin is another area to watch tomorrow for severe weather. Wisconsin, really northern Wisconsin and northeastern Minnesota are main areas tomorrow for severe weather. So mainly gonna be damaging winds and large hail, but I might go live for that. We'll see. Okay, I'll take a look at Twitter. Oh, okay, so there was issue. Okay, so that was why there was not a tornado warning earlier, possibly. They were having communication issues. So apparently the Pittsburgh National Weather Service was having issues. So the Charleston National Weather Service is the backup for them. So that is possibly why we did not have a warning earlier on this storm. But the warning does expire at 8:15 Eastern time. It will expire in 3 minutes. We'll see if we get a new warning on this. I don't think we'll get a new one, but you never know. Rotation is actually still there. It's still broad though overall. We'll have to wait and see, though. Storm's definitely been weakening out. Again, we are starting to go to nighttime, so that means daylight heating is starting to expire with these storms as well. Chicago, no. Nothing in Chicago tonight. North of Pittsburgh, I don't think you'll see much north of Pittsburgh. If anything, just maybe isolated. Really nothing, actually. I don't think you'll see much tonight. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning over at Owensboro and Evansville. We'll get to those here pretty shortly. But as of right now, both these tornado warnings expire in 2 minutes. I will be staying on them for another 2 minutes just to make sure we don't have any new warnings on these. But after that, we'll go over to the severe thunderstorm warnings that we have ongoing. Again, we currently have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings. We currently have 2 tornado warnings. These are the 2, both in southwestern and southern Pennsylvania. So again, if you're in either of these warnings, stay in shelter up until the warnings get uplifted. Well, we might get new ones, so we'll have to wait and see. Warning now expires in a minute. Yeah, the risk on Wednesday actually might get upgraded, but we'll see. I'll take a look real quick. See if we have anything. I haven't really looked at the latest radar run on Tuesday or Wednesday, but I don't think we'll get an upgrade tomorrow's severe weather, most likely. We may get one, though, on Wednesday. We might go up to a slight risk. It'll depend more on forecast confidence. But overall, severe weather primarily tomorrow will be in northern Minnesota, which will probably be an evening threat. It'll be basically right along the Minnesota and Canada border. So I might go live. We'll see. It's going to depend on where the storms really fire up. But that's where we're looking tomorrow. Again, going into Wednesday, we may get upgraded. We'll see. Might go up to a slight risk. Not to be determined at this point. But I would assume we get a slight risk for Wednesday, I'd think, but we'll see. Been so nice in South Dakota the last 3 weeks. No severe storms, really. In South Dakota was getting hammered, I think, back in earlier mid-July. So it's kind of surprising you're not seeing much right now. All right, these 2 tornado warnings are going to expire. We'll see if we get new warnings, but real quick, before we get any new warnings or anything like that, I'm going to go back over to our regular screen for right now. And let's hop back down over to these storms. We have a lot of wind damage coming in over in southern Indiana, and this is actually a considerable threat right now. 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds, as well as half-dollar sized hail currently ongoing here near Chandler, Evansville, going towards Owensboro, currently producing damaging winds around 70 miles per hour, and as well as half-dollar sized hail. We do have reports coming in of 62 miles per hour. And as well as 61 miles per hour. What is newspaper as a source? The newspaper gave him a what? That makes no sense. Well, apparently a newspaper was a source of this report at 6:55. It must mean something else. Over near Evansville Airport, the ASOS station there at Melody Hill reported a 61 mile per hour wind gust. We also have a report of shingles blown off a roof over in Highland, and a tree down and took down power lines over in Darmstadt, if I'm saying that right. So that area also with a couple, obviously some damage across this area near Highland, Evansville, with 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds, as well as the potential for half-dollar sized hail. Again, several reports coming in here of those damage reports. Again, as of right now, we have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. We don't have any tornado warnings yet. We'll see if we get any new ones up there. We probably will here pretty shortly. Again, the Pittsburgh site is currently down in terms of the at least their warning system and whatnot. Their communication system's down, so we will probably not get any new warnings for at least a minute or two, but we'll see. And we do have a new tornado warning. Okay, so a brand new tornado warning was just issued for southwest of Pittsburgh. This is ongoing tornado warning. This is near Confluence. This is actually the other storm that had a little bit of broad rotation. Brand new tornado warning, though, was just issued. Seek shelter immediately, away from windows and lowest floor possible. Again, this is a brand new tornado warning heading down to the southeast. Over here in southern Pennsylvania. I keep doing that. Let me go over to here and let me just change over to tornado warning. Again, this is over in Ohio Pile, as well as Markleysburg, a new brand new tornado warning here. Again, currently moving down to the southeast. Let me go back over the velocities. I'm really surprised we got a new tornado warning here. It's actually starting to strengthen a little bit. That might be why. So there's a little bit more of rotation here near 381. Again, it's not the strongest I've ever seen. It's definitely still in a broad to moderate stage. It might redevelop, though, as it moves down to the southeast. Addison, Confluence, Markleysburg are the main areas in the track over the next several minutes. The other warning, or the other previous storm that's produced a tornado near Waynesburg, does not seem like we'll get a tornado warning on that. But this one has a brand new tornado warning, again, moving down to the southeast. Seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Again, brand new tornado warning here. Thank you, Caroline, by the way, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Hey, Twigs, how you doing? I know, Texas needs rain. There might be, the tropics, if anything's able to develop in the tropics, we actually could possibly see something, because of the overall environment in the tropics, in terms of the Gulf of Mexico, is a little bit more favorable for tropical development. So if something does end up happening within the next week or two, it might come toward Texas, but you never know. Overall, it's just mainly been isolated, scattered rain events at this point in Texas. Yeah, I know. Texas really does need rain. All right, let's go back down here. I'm not going to really focus a whole lot on that tornado warning unless something really major develops here. But we'll go back down to this storm for right now. This is the one that's producing damage winds around $70.50 size tail. We'll be covering the tornado warning, but rotation at this point is still broad. We'll see what happens, though. Let me back over here to the... there we go. Hey, Gabe, welcome back. The tornado warning is in southern portions of Pennsylvania right now. That's where we're at in terms of that tornado warning. Yeah, honestly, I think there was a tornado on the ground before the warning even got issued. I think there was at least a confirmed one by radar. I really do. I think there was one back over there in western Pennsylvania. So there likely was. I'm not kind of opposed to that. I think there was one. If you're just tuning in, make sure to join our Discord server. Links in the chat from Nightbot. Again, you can join our community off the stream as well. Let me go back over to Twitter. We'll see if we have any new photos on this one. Again, this storm's been producing some significant damage over here in southern Indiana as well as northern Kentucky now. It's producing damaging winds up to 70 as well as $half size tail. Let's go over to the velocities. We'll take a look at the velocities and see what the storm looks like here in terms of wind speeds. This is near Newburgh. Wind speeds currently estimated around 60 on radar. So our recent reports were winds around 60. The winds are also being estimated around 60 to 61 miles per hour, maybe size 63. So winds seem to be peaking around 63. Obviously, the difference between 63 to 70 is not major difference, but again, trees can be knocked down, those sort of things. You know, loose lawn items go flying. Again, make sure you secure those things if you're anywhere near Owensboro. I know that's a bit more populated area. Masonville, Whitesville, Rockport. This storm will again be in the track for you over the next several minutes. Again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Again, it will be heading down to the southeast over the next several minutes. There's a tornado confirmed earlier. Yeah, I know. There was a tornado confirmed earlier by radar up in Pennsylvania. We possibly had 2, maybe even 3. But there's another tornado warning up there in Pennsylvania. We'll go back over to that here. Take a look. And this is the tornado warning over in Pennsylvania. Rotation was not overly impressive. It's still been pretty broad, but there's still a little bit of rotation here south of Ohio Pile as of right now. It's currently moving off. It looks to be more to the east than anything right now. So again, seek shelter immediately away from windows, lowest floor possible if you're included in this tornado warning. It's heading off to the east as of right now. Just give me 1 second. All right. Oh, a lot of campers in that area, Deborah? Okay, gotcha. Thank you. So yeah, it seems like there's a lot. Okay, so there's a lot of campers in this area, which is obviously not really good news. Obviously, there's definitely some damaging winds here, most likely around 60. There also is possibility for a tornado at any time. That's just kind of south of the Ohio Pile area near 380. So, or 381, I should say. So again, north of Highway 40, that's where our rotation is as of right now. It's remained broad for the most part, but we'll have to watch it still pretty closely. Confluence possibly in the track of this. Markleysburg might not be in the track of this. It's kind of going really off to your north right now. It's moving east. It's not really moving nearly as far southeast as it was previously. So, again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible in this storm. Maryland is not going to see this now. I mean, Maryland's not really in the path of this, most likely. This storm's likely going to probably stay just off the north of Maryland. So, yeah, I don't think Maryland will see much. Hey, Missy, how you doing? Welcome. We do have a special weather statement that's also been extended on this for gusty winds around 50. So, see, I don't think we'll get a new tornado warning on this later on, but we'll see. The rotation's still broad. We have trees down also in Indiana near Indianapolis. So, I'll retweet that on our Twitter as well. We have a lot of trees down over that area as well. Again, a lot of damage tonight, unfortunately, to a lot of areas. And obviously, that flash flooding risk ongoing still in southern portions of Illinois. So there's been a lot of rain. Along with that, there's also that potential for, severe weather. We've also had a possibility for a couple of tornadoes already tonight. So we've had known as of right now. How's Uniontown looking? Uniontown's right now just seeing rain. Nothing really in terms of the tornado threat anymore. Just rain. I'm not too concerned about anything beyond that. Thank you, Michael, Jose, as well as Ruth for all subscribing, by the way. I appreciate it. Again, if you have not already hit the subscribe button, hit it down below. I would really appreciate it. Helps our page out a lot. We are currently 53 subscribers from 14,500. See if we can hit that tonight. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Any rain in the next few days for North Texas? Runway, no, I don't think so. Maybe this weekend. There's flash flooding, Madden, in California. Yes, there's some areas there. I think we have like 15, 16 flash flood warnings ongoing. Yeah, we have 15 flash flood warnings ongoing. Again, 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. This is the tornado warning ongoing as of right now in Pennsylvania. Again, here's your rotation. It's just east of 381 and north of Highway 40. So that is currently where our rotation is as of right now. It is probably going to be a bit more rain wrapped at this point. But again, near Confluence, just off to the west of Confluence, south of Ohio Pile, which again is a bit more of a camper's area, it sounds like, is where this warning's still ongoing. I don't know what you mean by that, but it's been more tornadoes than was forecasted, I should say, because there's probably at least been 2 confirmed tornadoes. We've had at least 7 tornado warnings, I think, now, today. Evansville, and it came down hard. All right, is that the severe thunderstorm warning, Michael? Is that where that was at? Are you talking about Indiana or Illinois? Southern portions there? Because there was, obviously, damaging winds has been reported there around 60 to 65. Yeah, it's 15 flash flood warnings. Again, that's not all in California, but flash flood warnings are really all across the board. They are anywhere from, I don't know if we don't have any in Pennsylvania, but they're anywhere from over here closer to Illinois. We have a bunch over in Arizona from the monsoon weather and whatnot. We have a few over in California. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch still ongoing in Nebraska. I don't think we've had a single severe thunderstorm yet, though, over there. But we'll keep you updated with the latest on that. Again, there is a severe thunderstorm watch in both Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, as well as in Nebraska. That one was already issued in Nebraska about an hour or 2 ago. We have not had a single severe thunderstorm, though, yet in that area, but there may be some pretty soon. Again, rotation as of right now is now southeast of Opile. Still pretty broad at this point. I would assume that we're not going to get a new tornado warning on this in the future, but still something you should still be in shelter on if you're northwest of Confluence or southeast of Opile is really where the ongoing rotation is. Anywhere in Ohio, if you're in southern Ohio, that's the only area where I would expect any sort of severe weather tonight. That means damaging winds possible. I wouldn't expect much beyond that. No problem, Jackson. Storms are firing up in Nebraska. Yeah, they've been firing up for a while. I don't know if we've seen anything. Let me go back over my phone. We'll take a look. But yeah, I don't think Nebraska, I mean, most of the severe weather will probably be a bit more of an evening to overnight threat. But yeah, there's been storms firing up over there, just nothing severe yet. Been mostly just some strong storms at this point up near Atkinson and Dustin portions of Nebraska so far. You love the Arizona Cardinals? Okay. Thanks, Chromebook. Appreciate it. Sounds good, DFW. Yeah, apparently there's 37 dead from the Kentucky flooding, by the way. Very unfortunate news, as I kind of mentioned before. That a lot of flooding in those areas, and that also goes for West Virginia. Obviously, a lot of these flash flood warnings also in like St. Louis from last week. We also had one again over in Illinois. Again, not enough people treat flash flooding seriously enough. I mean, a lot of people just drive right into waters that are kind of under overpasses and whatnot. Again, turn around, don't drown. That's all you can do in those sort of situations. Get to high ground when there's flash flooding ongoing. Flash flooding is one of the more dangerous weather events that ongo, and obviously, I guess the new report is 37 that died in Kentucky. So very unfortunate news. Luckily, it looks like the rain shouldn't be too much more of a threat over the next 2 days in those areas. There might be still a bit more rain to come, but it hopefully will not be nearly as much as what we saw last week and this past weekend more than anything. That was the new report that we have. Thank you, Ray, as well as German and Dice for subscribing, by the way. Appreciate it. Yeah, right, Robert. Yeah, there will probably be a bit more storm activity there over in Nebraska, probably within the next hour or so. But most of the storms at this point are just strong. There's only one storm really at this point that's even out there, actually, that's even considered strong. Let me back over to the velocities. We'll take a look. I'm not sure we're having much in this storm. Again, it's a pretty broad rotation. Does not seem like we'll get a continued tornado warning on this. The storm seems to be weakening out near Confluence. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it. It probably will, Katie. I know. It probably will, unfortunately. Well, the latest count, that was 37. Thank you, Michael, for the report. Appreciate it. You only experienced one flash flood warning. It was scary for sure. I don't think I've really ever, honestly, I don't think I ever have. I may have experienced one, but yeah, I always have a weather emergency kit. That's always a good idea. Here's a look at the correlation coefficient. It is picking up a couple little spots there, but there's just nothing that's that tight in terms of rotation. So again, the rotation's kind of back up here. Warning has just been condensed, so Ohio Pile is not really included anymore. It's really just west of Confluence is now included with this warning. Still on goes until 7:45 Central, but overall velocities have not been that strong with this. We do have a special weather statement out in front of this. I don't think we'll get a new warning on this, but still a little bit of rotation. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, flash flood warnings, or flash flood emergencies, I should say, are much more rare than anything. They don't happen very often. We still have 15 flash flood warnings ongoing. I don't think any of those are emergencies, but we do have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, 1 tornado warning. Again, this is the 1 tornado warning in southern Pennsylvania. Moving off to the east-southeast. We have 1 severe thunderstorm warning southeast of Evansville now. That's going into Kentucky. We have 1 over in Arizona as well. It says we have 3. I don't see a third one. Oh, we've had some storms out in Florida, so that's what we got going as of right now. I think a severe thunderstorm. I don't even know if we'll get that. I think it's just gonna be a special weather statement. I haven't seen winds really that high with this storm, honestly. I don't think we'll see a new. I don't think we even see a severe thunderstorm warning. The velocities in terms of winds have been around 35, 40. So I don't think we're talking about a new severe thunderstorm warning. We might get a special weather statement, though. We do have one out in front of this for Confluence and Addison already that's issued. I believe it includes this area here for 50-mile-per-hour gusty winds. That's about it, though. I don't think we have anything beyond that with this specific cell. Is this going to go through New York City now? New York City won't see this tonight now. You guys are going to be fine tonight. It's primarily the only areas in threat tonight are really, I'll actually kind of show you guys. I haven't really done this at all in the stream, but here's the ongoing threat levels today. The tornado warning is actually not even in the marginal threat, which again, tornado warnings and any warning in general can happen outside of risk areas, but marginal threat does include anywhere from Erie, Detroit, all the way back down here over to the south and west. Again, Michigan's not really expecting any more severe weather tonight. Any severe weather in Ohio is going to remain very minimal. It will primarily be down here in southern Ohio. Slight risk again for those in northern Kentucky, southern and southwestern portions of Ohio, and southern Indiana. Again, most of those storms though are going to really fire up in northern Kentucky over the next few hours. Marginal threat through St. Louis, Des Moines, as well as over into Nebraska. There is a slight risk of severe weather. There is a severe thunderstorm watch on going until 1 a.m. Central Time, up to Hennig-sized hail, damaging winds around 70. And outside of that, not really much else. It's just much more just storms than anything. If you see anything tonight, not really much in terms of severe weather is expected in any other area tonight. But tomorrow's a bit of a different story. Let me go and show you tomorrow real quick. Marginal threat in these states down here, so it's basically 7 or 8 states are included in that. And then there's also a slight risk back up here near Canada. That includes Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and the upper Michigan Panhandle are all included for tomorrow for that slight risk. Again, damaging winds, large hail, main concerns tomorrow. So we got going for those threats as of right now. How rare are anticyclonic tornadoes? They are pretty rare. I mean, they only happen like, I think the percentage, I think was like 2% of the time. They are very rare to ever happen. Basically, every 100 tornadoes we see, only 2 of them are typically anticyclonic. They're not common at all. Hey, if you're just tuning in for the first time, again, friendly reminder, hit the subscribe button down below. We are currently 40 subscribers away from 14,500. Let's see if we can hit that tonight. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Would really appreciate it. If you're enjoying the stream so far, hit the like button as well. Is Louisville, Kentucky going to get anything? Most likely. You'll probably see something tonight. Whether that's rain or a severe thunderstorm, it's kind of up for grabs, but it's probably a good chance of rain at least tonight. Hey, John, how you doing? Welcome back. What is TikTok? It's something that I really don't use. I've touched TikTok a couple of times, but I do have a TikTok for max velocity. Just I don't really use it that much. Here's a look at the tornado warning, by the way. I think this might be let to either be canceled or expire. And the rotation has just not been that impressive on this, but tornado warning is actually still ongoing for those in Confluence for at least the next few minutes. It will remain in effect until 8:45 at this point Eastern time. So again, those in this area, stay in shelter just in case. But I think the velocities overall have been pretty much weak at this point. And Nebraska, I'll take a look here in a second, Ted Luck. We'll take a look here in a second. Yeah, Kentucky's unfortunately getting more rain tonight. It shouldn't be to the extent of what they've seen, though, recently. The forecasted rainfall totals for tonight are currently between about up to, really from a half an inch up to about 2 inches. It looks like Elizabethtown probably getting the highest totals tonight, south of Louisville. Basically, the highest rainfall totals most likely be in like central western Kentucky. Down near Pikeville, the areas that have seen the worst of the rain so far, up to a half an inch is expected tonight, overnight. So, not nearly as much rain in those areas. Yeah, it's like 1 to 2%. I'm not sure the exact percentage, but I think it's right around 2%. That's, I think, what they said, at least in terms of what the National Weather Service has kind of come out to be. But anticyclonic tornadoes are very uncommon. They're very rare, I should say. Why does it seem like at the end of a thunderstorm, there's always a huge thunder boom? I'm not entirely sure, honestly. That's kind of a weird question, but I mean, a lot of the time, it's kind of weird, but like a lot of the time when you have a storm, I mean, if you're talking about like an end of a thunderstorm cycle, I'm not sure if you're referring to that or if just a storm is moving through like this and it continues to move off to the east with the same strength and intensity. I mean, lightning typically happens and can even strike like off to the east a bit more. Like let's just say this storm's going west to east, for example, which it is right now. Thunder and lightning is likely to be most prominent in here with some occasional strikes out in front of it. We don't see a whole lot of strikes though behind it. So that might be what you're referring to. Yeah, cloud tops and cloud bases are really where the lightning forms. Is usually within the storm, sometimes off to the direction of where it's going as well. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. If that's what you're referring to. Let me go over to lightning maps. I can probably pull it up here. Yeah, like for the example, this storm right now that's tornado warned. Most of the lightning within the last few minutes has really primarily been here. We have occasional lightning strikes back out here to the west, but if any new ones happen, they're typically in here or out here to the east. And that does not mean you should, go outside and just party if you're off to the west of this storm. I mean, lightning can strike really from any direction, any distance, but it's most frequent really in front or just really in the storm. So just kind of for reference. I mean, it's a little bit of a weird thing, but lightning does happen behind storms, but it typically happens at or in front of the storm. So yeah, that's probably what you're thinking of, D. That's probably what happens. Because there's not a whole lot of lightning behind the storm. It happens, but it's typically not nearly as frequent. Evansville, Indiana. Yeah, there's been damaging winds already over in that area. Missy, it's like 250, I think, or something like that. Doesn't lightning meet in the sky and not hit the ground? No, cloud to ground lightning happens quite often with even the strongest and most severe storms. So, like this storm, for example, might have some cloud to ground lightning. I don't think it's nearly as frequent, but there might be like 1 or 2 strikes with this storm that goes from cloud to ground. You see it a lot more in Florida storms or even storms like over here. That like one, for example, over here, this one's producing a load of lightning over near Evansville. that's producing 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds as well as half-dollar sized hail, which we've already had reports. Actually, there was a 65-mile-per-hour damaging wind report over in Evansville. So this storm, for example, has been producing a load of lightning, and this one very well likely has some cloud-to-ground lightning. So, and it's actually now down to 60-mile-per-hour winds and nickel-sized hail. But yeah, those sort of storms, for example, very well could produce that potential for some cloud-to-ground lightning, which is, again, fairly frequent. It happens a lot more often than not with the severe storms. Let me go over to Nebraska real quick. That's when warning's going to expire if it hasn't already. Let's go over to Nebraska. Somebody was saying something about anti-cyclonic rotation over here. Storms up here near Atkinson have actually been pretty impressive so far, but no tornado warnings here or anything like that. Again, no, not really much of a tornado threat here tonight, but there's a little bit of like very broad rotation up there, but it's not anything I'm concerned about. It looks to be pretty strong storms though. Again, we're going to see more storms filling over here in Nebraska over the next few hours, kind of from O'Neill back down near North Platte, near Broken Bow as well. Over the next couple of hours, again, any storms that develop, main threats can be damaging winds and maybe some isolated large hail. I'll stay on the tornado warning for now. I'm going to see if there's any new updates on this. The rotation is now moving into Confluence. If there is still any left, I don't think there's much here, though. Yeah, there's not much here. I'm going to go over to the tornado warning, see if it get canceled yet. I think it's going to be let to expire, and it's actually been canceled. Okay, so the tornado warning's been canceled on this. I was surprised it didn't get canceled earlier, but it is now officially been canceled, so we're no longer on a tornado warning. We are back over to the 1 or 2 severe thunderstorm warnings we have ongoing as of right now. Let me go back over to here. We have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. This tornado warning has officially been canceled over near Markleysburg, and that storm has been weakening out. All those cells, for the most part, have been weakening out as well. This is the one cell that is still severe thunderstorm warned in the severe thunderstorm watch. It is producing 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds and nickel-sized hail. Moving down to the southeast, about 35 to 40 miles per hour. This storm has produced winds as high as 70 miles per hour. So, John, no, I have not. I've only really heard of him only recently. That's nice, Kelly. Thank you, Dorian, as well as Ride for subscribing, by the way. Appreciate it. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Landon, I don't really do much of Canada weather. I apologize. Primarily just the United States. Next Storm Prediction Center outlook, by the way, comes out in 20 minutes for today. I think we have another warning ongoing, by the way. We saw flash flood warnings. Oh, my goodness. This is not going to be a good situation. The rain just continues up here. We might be over 6 or 7 inches of rain up here. This is a serious flash flooding event ongoing up here. Rain just continues. I'll take a look at the latest radar update in terms of the rainfall. This is 7 o'clock Central, so about 40 minutes ago is the latest radar update on the rain. And we have a serious amount of rain that's fallen here. 6 inches of rain has now fallen here near 1:30 and near St. Marie. Between 5 to 6, anywhere in this dark blue, kind of black shaded region here. A lot of heavy rain. St. Marie around 3.5, 4 inches. Yeah, there's been a lot of heavy rain here. And again, turn around, don't drown. This is a very dangerous area to be right now. A lot of rain has fallen here in the short term. A very stationary shower. More rain keeps forming in this area too. It's just very unfortunate what we're seeing here in Illinois. A lot of rain still falling. New flash flood warning back over here. Seeing almost 4 inches of rain north of Sumner and north of Highway 50. So yeah, some serious rain is ongoing with this storm. And again, turn around, don't drown. Seek higher ground if you ever are in a flash flooding circumstance like this, possibly. There's already been 6 inches of rain now west of 1:30. So yeah, definitely a very dangerous situation overall here in terms of rain, unfortunately. That's again near 1:30. A lot of rain. And it looks like a flooding report. Flowing water over a large portion of a roadway at 7 o'clock over in Berryville as well. Over in Parksburg, water flowing over at Route 130 just north of Parksburg. So I would assume 130 is likely even flooded up here too, if there's not good drainage and whatnot. So we likely have a lot of flash flooding in this area. Again, 6 inches of rain's fallen in the last several minutes. I don't believe we have any new updates yet on the flash flooding warning. Again, this is 40 minutes ago. That's when the rainfall totals came in. So we likely are now over 7 inches in a couple of these spots near St. Marie. Here's a look at the live radar as of right now. Rain just continues here. A lot of heavy rain still ongoing here. So unfortunately, rain is likely to continue over the next several minutes. We do have a couple of brand new severe thunderstorm warnings somewhere. I believe it might be in Arizona. We actually have one in Louisiana right now. Let's talk about that real quick. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds, nickel-sized hail. That is near Ruston, as well as Vienna and Unionville. And damaging winds up to 60, and as well as nickel-sized tail possible. And we have one other one. I'm not sure where that one's at. It might be in Nebraska. Yeah, we have a new one in Nebraska now. This is for 60 mile per hour damaging winds, as well as quarter-sized tail. That is a brand new one. Goes until 8:30 Central Time. That does include Emmett, Midway, Scottville, and Opportunity. Those areas included for damaging winds up to 60 and quarter-sized tail. Highway 281 will be in the track of that storm as it moves off to the east. Let me put a track on this to give you an idea of where it's heading over the next several minutes. Moving off to the east and east-northeast for the most part. Here's a look at the track. So timing's on the left side of your screen. So O'Neill, around 7:55. Bristow, right around 8:17. Lynch, 8:26. Verdell, right around 8:51. As well as Winnie Tune, right around 9:07. Center, 9:16. Springfield, 9:23. Santee, 9:27. And Bloomfield, 9:39. Again, that's your timing on this storm. That is, again, producing damage winds around 60 and quarter-sized tail. That's a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. Welcome back, DFW. Yeah, I think Highway 130 is probably flooded now. It looks to be like that, unfortunately. We're only 32 subscribers, by the way, away from 14,500. Again, if you have not hit the subscribe button down below, it is free to do. Red button down below. Would appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. And we're only 32 subscribers away. If every one of you subscribe right now, we might be able to hit it. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. All right. Again, tornado warnings already expired in southern Pennsylvania. We had several tornado warnings over that direction. We have a lot of damage reports now coming in Evansville. A lot of them, actually. We have more than we had before. So again, tree down and took out power lines again over in Vanderburgh County. That's in northern, just north of Evansville, basically northern portions of the county. Also, again, 65 mile per hour damaging gust report over in Evansville. Tree across, however you pronounce that name, it's down at the bottom side of your screen, but that avenue has a tree down there. Again, shingles may have been blown off over in Evansville as well. We have a large tree down across St. George Road, taking out a power line as well over in Melody Hill. Also, we had power poles down, and that's probably with the same report here over in Melody Hill as well. And then we also had a tree down on North Bioki Road. So those areas all with trees down. Obviously, a lot of power lines and whatnot down. This storm produced around 65 to 70 mile per hour damaging winds over that direction from earlier. And obviously, the flash flooding concerns still continue in eastern portions of Illinois. Not really in Indiana. It's really mainly in eastern Illinois right now. In this area, again, not an area that needs rain at this point. A lot of heavy rain still ongoing here. Hey, Gene, how you doing? I'm not feeling much better, but I do appreciate it. I am just mainly live because I want to make sure everybody's staying safe, but yeah, I mean, I'm still very congested. I don't have a fever anymore, which is good. You have a good day, Frank. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, Bot, as well as Marilyn, Gus, Bray, Cindy, and Project for subscribing, by the way. Appreciate it, guys. Welcome. We're now 16 subscribers from 14,500. Again, if you are just tuning in, hit the subscribe button down below. I would appreciate it. Thank you, Adriana. Yeah, again, we don't really cover a whole lot of Canada weather, but sorry to hear that, miss him. Sorry to hear that. Again, we'll get our next, probably next rain update here in about 15 minutes. Let me go back over here. Okay, so special weather statement, 40 mile per hour winds. That is the storm, again, that was tornado warned earlier. Still severe thunderstorm watch is going until 10 o'clock Central Time, which is another 2 hours from now. The one storm we have ongoing that is severe over here in basically Kentucky is actually producing still 60 mile per hour damaging winds, and as well as a little bit of nickel-sized hail. This storm's been weakening a little bit. Again, our flash flooding concerns are still ongoing there in eastern Illinois right now. Again, unfortunately, that's what we got going there. And 6 to 7 inches of rain has already fallen in those areas. More is likely to fall too over the next few hours. Thanks, Christian. Appreciate it. I have no clue, James. I think I've had the same illness though at least 4 or 5 times this year. So this isn't the first time. This time it's not nearly as bad though as the first few. I should be better probably in the next few days anyways. No problem, Don. No problem at all. Yeah, Evansville got pounded with those storms, as I mentioned before. A lot of damage reports up this direction. What we at least had at this point was a 65 mile per hour wind gust. Obviously, we could have been even a little bit higher than that. Numerous tree limbs were actually down in that report from Evansville. And looks like another little storm going through Evansville again. Not really severe, but maybe a little bit pea-sized tail, gusty winds possibly again with that cell. That's primarily just west of Evansville, though, is where the main storm is. Obviously, we had some hail reports from earlier as high as hen egg sized hail back up in Albany. That was a couple of hours ago, though. That was from this one cell now going to Kentucky. So, obviously, all these blue squares representing damage reports of some sorts. Trees down, power lines down, all that sort of stuff near Highland and Evansville so far. So, that's what we have going as of right now. Again, flowing water over a large portion of the roadway over in Berryville. Water down, or water now overflowing over at Route 130 as well. This area, again, this area specifically has seen between 6 to 7 inches of rain. Unfortunately, again, a lot of heavy rain in those areas. And again, it will likely continue over the next few hours, unfortunately. A lot of rain ongoing. We have a little bit of hail core, by the way. This warning's now been upgraded to quarter size, which probably makes sense. A little bit of quarter size hail possibly there near 56, west-southwest of Owensboro. Currently has a little bit larger hailstones now that direction. JD, no, you're not. Unless you have another account, you can, but... Christian, if you want updates on when we go live, make sure to join our Discord server. I'll link it in the chat. Again, Nightbot will post a link if you want to join our Discord server off the stream. We have a lot of live stream updates and stuff like that on that as well. We're only 13 subscribers from 14,500. Again, if you have not already, it's free to do. Hit the red button down below and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Try to see if we can hit that goal tonight. Otherwise, we're 12 minutes away from the next Storm Prediction Center outlook, which actually might come out a little bit early. We'll see. And severe weather is possible over in Nebraska. We have one warning ongoing in Nebraska right now. And obviously, that's the next area to watch tonight. That has the potential for severe weather. Again, severe thunderstorms, potentially producing 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds. And potentially some $1.25 to $1.5 size hail. Can't rule out hail up the size of head eggs, but it looks like to be mainly a hail and damaging wind threat in Nebraska. Anywhere over in these areas, I think for the most part, we'll be transitioning to damaging winds and hail. I don't expect much more in terms of a tornado threat tonight. Unless some sort of cell can become discrete, which looks like we have a couple over here, but these are primarily just, it looks like, strong storms near Batesville as well as up southeast of Indianapolis. But for the most part, I think these storms are primarily going to be comprised of damaging winds or hail. These are obviously a flash flooding component as of right now. And a lot of blue squares, as I mentioned before, over here in Evansville, all indicating the damage reports that we've had coming in over those directions. Sounds good, Evan. Pollen counts are off the charts this year. They've been pretty bad. They have been. Yeah, Devin, we'll see. The update on that outlook for day 3 comes out tomorrow. So, tomorrow morning. Thank you, Bill, by the way, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Thanks, Don. I appreciate it. I'm working sick. We don't take sick days here at Max Velocity. Hey, Daniel. How you doing? Welcome back. All right. Back over here. We're actually only 33 likes away from 700. We're 11 subscribers from our goal tonight of 14,500. I might go live again tomorrow, by the way. We'll see. It's going to depend on what we see tomorrow, but that's primarily in northern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin. We'll see if anything dramatically changes, but I don't know if I'll go live. We'll see. It's kind of going to be to be determined. The tomorrow's event is going to be kind of mainly focused that small area. It's primarily going to be Canada more than anything, but we'll see. Not really much of a tornado threat tomorrow. It's mainly just damaging winds and large hail. But on Wednesday, as I said before, we might get an upgrade to a slight risk of severe weather for anywhere from Michigan, really through the Midwest, all the way down to Kansas. There may be an upgrade to a slight risk in some of those areas. There might be a bit more of a line of storms that develops there, so we'll have to wait and see. Again, the balloons and confetti ready. There you go, Kevin. I agree with that, Christian. No sick days? No, we don't take sick days here. No sick days. All right, let me go back over to the flash flooding concerns. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of flash flooding north of Olney. If you're just tuning in, we do have 2 flash flood warnings ongoing. I don't believe this is a flash flood emergency yet. Up to 6 inches of rain has already fallen. Yeah, we're not in a flash flood emergency yet, but this warning is ongoing until almost 1 a.m. Central Time. So it is obviously, this is like an 8-hour flash flood warning at least, depending on if we keep seeing more rain, which might actually happen. But rainfall totals with this storm so far have been approximately, this is back to a look at it, have been up to about 6 inches so far. We may be up to 7 to 8 inches near 1:30 in the next update, which comes in at about 8 o'clock central, which is probably about 9 minutes or so. So this kind of look at the rainfall totals so far tonight. You can just see a lot of 5-inch rainfall totals here. Again, just southwest of St. Maurice, south of Newton. Unfortunately, a lot of rain has fallen in these areas, and it is expected to continue. Luckily, these downtown city or town areas are only around 3 to 4 inches, not nearly as much as the really high rainfall totals we have near 1:30, but obviously any rainfall totals be above 3 inches is just very dangerous, especially in these areas. So again, turn around, don't drown if you're in these areas. 1:30 has been the area that we've at least seen some reports of flooding and whatnot over on the road. So we've seen so far. Hey Kayla, how you doing? Welcome back. This is currently in Illinois, by the way. That's where our flash flooding threat is ongoing. Also in Kentucky, we have a severe thunderstorm warning. That's what we got going as right now. We have a few severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. One in Nebraska, one in Louisiana. We actually have 2 in Arizona. I'm sure if I'm not a member. Oh, no, Jeffrey, you're totally fine. If you're not, you don't have to be a member to ask questions. So, when is summer, this rain? Okay, I think the question's out of order, but the rain in the summer, really anything in North Texas and DFW, it's primarily just going to be isolated over the next several weeks, and that includes even this upcoming weekend. We have another chance for, like, a low-end chance for a little bit of rain, but it's not going to be much. If any rain we do see is going to be just isolated to maybe widely scattered. It's going to be pretty similar to what we've seen the last few days anyways, so that's kind of what we're looking at as of right now over those directions in terms of North Texas and DFW. It's pretty typical for summer. Obviously, we had a dry spring, which leads to most of the time very dry and hot summers, which we've seen already this year. So that's kind of where we're at this point. But obviously, we will likely see some sort of rain, probably going to later August, maybe early September. But when will Denison, Texas actually get rain? I mean, if you're looking for more than an inch of rain, it likely won't be until September or October, barring maybe some sort of tropical system. Yes, Kenny, if you want to become a member on mobile, click the top link in the description below. If you want to become a member. You can do that on mobile devices too. All right. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning down southwest of Owensboro, producing damaging winds around 60, and as well as quarter-sized hail. Again, severe thunderstorm watch goes up until 10 o'clock tonight. I don't think we'll see much more in terms of severe weather on the watch. Also, we have a couple of storms back here. I think we'll see a line of storms potentially develop tonight in this area near northern Kentucky. We'll have to wait and see, but that might develop a little bit later. Not in the short term, but potentially in a couple hours. Maybe some damaging winds with that. I know, Kayla. They're actually in Allen, Texas. I don't know if they saw rain today, but at least in the last 60 days. We're up to ping pong ball size till now, by the way. We'll get to that here in a second. I think in the last 60 days in Allen, Texas, they've not seen any rain. Allen, Texas, I think, has been the biggest drought so far. Let me take a look. Yeah, Allen, Texas, at least according to today's rainfall totals, they've still not seen any measurable rain in now 60 days of today. So they haven't seen hardly any rain over that direction. But we do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. This does include areas south of Owensboro. Damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, and ping pong ball sized hail is possible here. Again, stay away from windows, lowest floor possible. Ping pong ball sized hail, again, can knock through windows and also can cause some roofing damage. So again, stay away from windows. Definitely a dangerous cell here moving down to the southeast. Livermore is the main area included, south and west of Masonville, for the potential for ping pong ball sized hail and damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. We are currently at 7 severe thunderstorm warnings. We do have a brand new one issued. I'm not entirely sure where that is. We'll have to get there in just a second. Thank you, Jerry and Tammy, by the way, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button down below, I think we're only like 2 subscribers from our goal tonight, 14,500. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, I would appreciate it. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning over in Florida. This is actually in Orlando, I think. Damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. This is at like the Disney parks, I think. Damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. Nickel-sized hail possible. Looks like it's an outflow-driven storm here. So a little bit of hail and damaging winds here. Moving off to the east. Winter Garden, Windmere, as well as Bay Lake, Horizon West, and Bay Hill are all included in this warning. So down over in the Orlando, Disney theme park area is all included in that severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. So, interesting spot there for a severe thunderstorm warning. Your typical summertime storms in Florida. Kevin, probably not. Probably not. Yeah, brand new severe thunderstorm warning over in Florida. All right, let's back up here. We actually had some reports earlier of a little bit of hail southwest of Jacksonville. That was a little bit of east-sized hail over that direction. Let me take a look if we have a new update on the Storm Protection Center yet. I don't think we do. No, we don't. Over here. All right. Take cover Disney people, yeah, basically. Yeah, I'm surprised that actually got warned. 60-mile-per-hour winds, though. It doesn't. It makes sense. There's an outflow boundary also with the storm too, so just gotta keep that in mind. Yeah, some storms in Central Florida. There's been a few storms actually down that direction too. Lisa, no, nothing really in Columbus, Ohio. Not right now. If you do see anything, damaging winds being my main concern, but I think most of the storm activity will be in southern Ohio, if not even south of there tonight. Sounds good, Missy. Or Braden. Hawk, I'm still congested. That's about it right now. No fever, though, anymore. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Welcome back. Brady, I think they do. They have somebody behind the scenes that does that stuff. There's a lot of private companies and sectors and industries that have private meteorologists that aren't actually known, really. We've officially hit 14,500 subscribers. I do appreciate everybody subscribing tonight. It means the world to me. And obviously, everybody's liked this live stream. That's just been watching the stream. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by, as always. Also, the 2 new members tonight. I do appreciate you guys. God, I'm dying over here with this congestion. I just appreciate everybody tuning in, as always. Appreciate it. Thank you. We're halfway down to 15,000 now. I am a member of my own channel. Runway. I became a member to be able to gift memberships when we had a few giveaways back on a stream a few weeks ago. This is currently in northern Kentucky right now. Let's get some claps in the chat, by the way. Yeah, claps in the chat for hitting our subscriber goal for tonight. Also, the 2 new members tonight, Brian as well as Squidward from earlier in the stream. I do appreciate them becoming members tonight. Again, if you want to support our page above and beyond, you can also become a member, get some benefits as well. Click the top link in the description. You can check out the benefits that comes with it. Get some bloopers access and whatnot as well. I have people keep tweeting me stuff on Twitter. Interesting to see what we saw tonight in terms of the tornado threat. We had a few tornado warnings today, as I mentioned before, but the tornadoes seem to be mostly brief and weak. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Mount Carmel as well as West Salem, Bone Gap, Belmont, are all included for damaging winds around to 60 miles per hour and $half sized hail. Our hail core is near West Salem as of right now. That's your hail core right there. Again, moving down to the southeast, a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. This area has also seen severe thunderstorms from earlier that may go toward Evansville, so just keep that in mind. Moving down to the southeast. Let me go over to the Storm Prediction Center real quick. We'll take a look. We have a new update, by the way, on the Storm Prediction Center for tonight. Here's a look at the new outlook for the rest of this evening. So some updates to kind of be noting here. Marginal risk still ongoing for a good portion of Ohio. Again, damaging winds will be my main concern if any storms are able to develop up here in Ohio. Otherwise, slight risk of severe weather still ongoing for Louisville. That does include northern Kentucky, southern Ohio, southeastern Indiana. Illinois is no longer included in that. No marginal threat anymore for central Illinois. Most of that severe weather has moved out of your area. We still have a slight risk over there in eastern and central Nebraska, as well as western Iowa. I think that actually just got added, slightly expanded, it looks like. Marginal threat ongoing still all the way through western Illinois. Again, main threat tonight is damaging winds. Maybe a little bit of isolated large hail. Brief tornado still cannot be ruled out tonight. That would primarily be in the area of Kentucky. So that's what we're looking at as of right now. Thank you, Casey, by the way. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rob, by the way, for subscribing. Appreciate it. I'm doing good, kid. How about you? Thanks, Evan. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. Yeah, for the most part, again, I'm pretty sick still. Not I'm like sick, but I'm still sick. I'm fairly congested, so. But that's actually going to do it for tonight's stream. I am, again, sick, so I'm going to try to, get some rest tonight. If I do have a live stream tomorrow, it'll be tomorrow evening. So, again, make sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe, turn on post notifications, click the bell icon down below. Not enough of you guys have clicked that button down below. Click the bell icon, get notified for when we do go live on our next live streams. We have a new Sphere Thirst warning for Evansville, by the way, just got issued for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size tail. But that's going to do it. Again, I'm sick, and I live stream while I'm sick, but, I want to make sure everybody stayed safe tonight. We had a lot of tornado warnings. If you have not already, join our community off the stream. Click the Discord link in the chat from Nightbot. You can also click the link in the description below. Follow us on our social medias. We're on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those links in the description below. You can click the Discord link in the chat as well to be notified for whatnot live streams, and join our community off the stream. You can interact with us, and I'm also on Discord as well, so you can kind of hop on there and follow us on there as well. All right, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, it was a coverage while being sick. This is the first stream I think I've ever done while being sick, so it's kind of weird, but you might not be able to hear it, but I'm pretty congested. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a great rest of your night, guys. We'll see you again soon. Stay safe if you're in any of these warnings. And again, flash flood warning still ongoing there in Eastern Illinois. Stay safe. Hope you guys have all a great rest of your night, though, if you're not in those warnings. And we will see you again soon. Thank you guys again for tuning in. And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.